Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. If you're joining us live on Twitch, well, you know the web address, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. And if not, you're probably catching a replay of this, all of our pretty little faces on the YouTube. Just search Tom and Dan Live. Super easy to find. Everything beautiful all in one spot. And do me a huge favor, subscribe to it and hit the alert button, because if you hit that, it will let you know every time I put up a new video, which is basically Monday through Friday. I've chosen this life, and now I live in it.
It's more of a prison, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's my own prison.
Yeah.
Creed.
No. Let's do some Who's Porking.
Let's do it. I forgot I was supposed to sing right here. That's never happened before. My mind doesn't seem to be very clear. Speaking of clear, True Leave has their concentrates. They were on sale. That might be part of the problem. I'm living in a virtual hell in my own mind.
Love Porky, yeah!
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue right there in downtown Apopka. Get that pulled pork sandwich.
Why would you do that?
Porky's Apopka.
Don't say poo pork sandwich.
Did you say poop pork sandwich?
No.
Before we get into the actual story we're doing for Porkin', just a minor mention because I feel like I have to. Ariana Grande got married over the weekend.
What?
So she's off the market, guys.
To who?
He is a real estate broker named
she's smart.
something Gomez, but
Seems
just like a young guy.
Hello, my name is real estate owner Gomez.
She was the one dating Pete Davis.
She got engaged to him, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't marry him.
Gotcha,
Right.
yeah.
She got engaged to old Pete.
Yeah.
Old Big D Pete.
Dalton Gomez.
Dalton Gomez is
Yeah.
a solid name. Also another man with a big ween.
Probably.
Yeah. She likes him long and strong and down to get the friction on.
You guys familiar with Colton Underwood?
He's the racist country singer, no?
No, that's not him.
Oh.
This guy, he used to be a football player. So he was
He's that
signed by
racist
the
football player, right?
No, he was signed by the San Diego Chargers as an undrafted free agent in 2014, and then he was on the practice squad of the Oakland Raiders and Philadelphia Eagles. And then after that, he was a contestant on the 14th season of The Bachelorette.
Oh, no, I know this story. This is not good.
And then it came out. He ended up coming out that he was gay after he did The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Got a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, a lot of flack.
Well, recently he just did a Q&A on Instagram, and he fired back at a fan who had questions about his sex life. He's 29 years old, and over the weekend he did the Q&A, and he says, "Let me vent for a second. Questions like this are inappropriate." The person asked about intimate details of a sex life. He says, "I understand you might know me from The Bachelorette, where I shared a lot about my personal life, but I have set boundaries and I'm respecting myself in a way that will lead me to a healthier life."
Yeah, but you were doing a Q&A.
Yeah.
You don't set boundaries when you do a Q&A. Ask me anything except for the things that I don't want to. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I respect him. He says, "I never asked to be labeled as the Virgin Bachelor." That's the other thing. When he did The Bachelor, he was like, they labeled him like the Virgin Bachelor because they said he was a virgin.
Yeah, but he's getting into TV land, and of course they labeled him that way.
Right.
You know? I mean,
Isn't it called, though, Ask Me Anything? Or
No, this was just a Q&A. He didn't do an AMA.
Yeah, this
Oh,
wasn't
that's
Ask Me
it.
Anything,
Right.
which is,
Separate.
I can see where you get confused.
Yeah.
And I understand what Sam's saying. I do respect him for drawing a boundary line. You got to have boundaries. But if you're going to do a question and answer thing, I think you got to be a little more liberal with your answer. Anyway,
yeah.
He says, "I never asked to be labeled as the Virgin Bachelor and have people feel the security to ask me questions about my sex life. It just happened, and during that time, I thought I had no other choice but to just go with it for the network, or the network would be mad. I know differently now. I'll share what I want, and this won't be one of those things." So look, he's like, you can ask me questions. I don't have to answer those. I don't have to answer questions about my sex life.
I feel like if the internet is asking questions, it's gonna be anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be skewed towards the worst.
But he doesn't have to
things.
answer it.
Right.
But it's like
even
to
even
get
the
insulted
answer
or like
you give is, it would have been better to just ignore that question.
Yeah.
Because behind that question are probably 75 other questions that are worse.
Yeah, I'd like to look at how the Q&A was set up. Like, because some of them you have to pay to ask questions.
Yeah, look,
so...
I love the boundaries. Don't get me wrong. That's a good thing to have. It's healthy. It sets your life in order. But you're right, Tom. It's like anything on the internet, like everything on the internet eventually gets to bad.
Yeah, but you should know that too,
Right.
though. It's like this is the internet. It's coming from everywhere, and all these questions are coming from mostly people that are hiding their identity or what. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, so
yeah.
it's not like they're coming from strangers. They're going to skew bad, right? Like,
Yeah. Now, I thought, is this the gentleman? I thought, and this is what I thought you were going to talk about, which is why I said this story is terrible. I just want to preface. I said this story is terrible because wasn't he outed? Wasn't he blackmailed?
that part I don't know. It's in this article. It says he came out during a Good Morning America sit-down with Robin Roberts last month.
I thought there was some other article about him and his sexuality, and he was blackmailed, and that's why almost like you're forced
Yeah, you're
to
right.
come out.
I
And I'm
came
like,
out as gay
that's-
after spa blackmail.
That's the worst. I will never know.
Spa Blackmail is an awesome punk rock band.
After visiting a gay spa and getting blackmailed.
This first song's called Mr. Kraft.
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah, right? You didn't
got-
know that?
got
one?
all choked
yeah,
up.
Sam gets concerned, starts crying when he starts
is
talking
terrible.
spas. Yeah, it's the worst thing. I've always thought it's the worst thing. We've had more than one gay person in here that's telling us their story. How many? We've been doing this 12 years. We've
Yeah.
had more than one gay person in here telling their story to us, and then they tell that somebody else either outed them or blackmailed. You know what I mean?
It
Just insanity.
if
So
you,
maybe that's another reason why he's sensitive about talking about his sex life,
Of course.
if you're on The Bachelor and you got some sort of fame going on, I wonder if you assume, or at least like are nervous about, if you are keeping your sexuality hidden, you go to some like a public or some sort of spa, like maybe that caters to gay people. You would think like hope like someone's gonna notice me, right? Or someone's gonna
I think he
recognize
was
me.
still trying to figure out. He was questioning his sexuality still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he
Also-
says, I remember feeling guilty, like, what the hell am I doing? It was my first time letting myself even go there, so much so that I was like, I need the Bachelorette in my life so I could be straight.
Oh,
like, he was trying to
God.
force himself to
It's
be
either
straight.
the Bachelorette or Christianity, right? That's the only ways
yeah.
to fix being gay.
Like I would assume. Tell me, Daniel, if you would assume this too.
Well, I'm gayer than you on the spectrum, so I can go there.
If I was secretly gay and I wanted to party,
Dude, if you were secretly gay, you would be a snack.
no, yeah,
I would straight eat you up.
I wish I was secretly
Dude,
gay and
he's
super
super
gay.
gay.
I
wish I was
think with
super
a few,
secretly gay.
Dude, with a few style
Give it a go.
cues,
You
with a
never
few
know.
style cues, you could be straight pumping.
Well, I mean, changing my style won't change my sexuality.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I was going with the fantasy.
wish
you
I
said
did.
you said if
Yeah.
I were gay, I'm still in the fantasy.
But if I feel like if I were gay, I'd have better style too, because that comes with it.
That's a stereotype, but-
I did
Well,
stereotype,
but
but
there
I
is-
just feel
but
like
there is some truth
I'd bet
to
on
it.
it. I'd have better
you
style.
The odds are better, yeah.
You'd be hanging out with more gay people. Gay people stereotypically have better style. Yes, that would
Or
rub
at
off
least
on
they
you.
try and help you out a little.
Yeah, they
So-
pull you aside and give you a hey girl.
Anyway, and I'm not famous at all, but I think if I went to a gay spa here in town, someone may
Especially, he was like in the NFL before that.
You couldn't even drop off a cardboard cutout of your intern's boobies.
yeah. Although
Do you
that's
see how disrespectful that was that I called him your intern? You couldn't even drop that off at Tuffy's in Sanford without having somebody spot you.
yeah. But I feel like West End and Tuffy's that's like going
So
into
let's say
the
you're
den.
you're out in Metro West.
Yeah, maybe
Nobody around. There's
yeah.
a spa there.
I thought we have a lot of gay listeners, so
We do.
I feel like someone would be like, "Is that Tom Van? He is he's getting in here, and
he's gay. I didn't know he's gay. That's what they would
Yeah.
say. They'd be like, "Oh my God, you know Tom was gay?"
and screw the person that tried to blackmail.
That's
him.
the worst thing in the
They
world.
took nude photos of him at the spa,
Oh
which
my
why
God.
are they
Yeah.
allowing cameras inside of a spa anyway?
You know what? I had a massage one time. I won't say the place. Chain. That the lady checked her phone during the massage.
I don't like that
That's
at all.
unprofessional, right?
Yeah.
That's unprofessional. No, it rang, and then her excuse, and I let it fly because I just had Maisie, was a kid checking my kids' text. My kids are with their dad.
Yeah.
And I let it fly, but I thought it was very unprofessional.
Yeah.
It broke the mood, man.
Also,
I wasn't doing anything weird, by the way. It was a real, regular, boring massage.
like if you're in the spa, or it's kind of like
we're
if
back
you're
to
in the
your-
locker
okay.
room, or like you shouldn't even take your phone out to check it
Right.
because I feel like people are
Okay.
going to be suspicious that you're doing some creepy
Exactly.
photos,
When
right?
I used to go to Bally's, this was my move. I'd get my phone out of my gym bag, I would hold it up in front of my face, and then I would pan the entire gym. Pan. I'd double back over near where their showers are, pan, then back into my gym bag.
That's why whenever I would go to the gym, I would never go in like the front row of equipment. Like I would always go in the back. You're not taking pictures of me.
All right, I see what you're
I'm
saying.
scanning the room.
Yeah. That's an
Also,
extreme level of
It's
paranoia.
unfortunate.
It really is
we have to-
unfortunate
we have to live
paranoia.
that way.
How much of a POS you have to be to send someone an email saying, I have nude pictures
Right?
of you. I'm going to like out you if you don't give me money. Like that's straight up the
You're-
most D-head thing.
Yeah, it's
like,
the worst. I've told you, it's the
and
worst.
it's a terrible human thing to do because there's no excuse for it. There's no like, well, you know, yeah, I don't even know. You know what I'm
There
saying?
is no well,
the
you
guy
know.
was there. You're like, I'm going. You pay me,
I
or
had
I'm
to
gonna
do it, bro.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, there's nothing like.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the real story here. Like, I would like to know whether or not because obviously he knew the spa. He knew that somebody there did it. The spa knows somebody there did it. Did this person get arrested? They
like,
should.
This is above like breaking into someone's car, stealing their stuff because at least
You're changing the course of their life, dude. And that's not your life.
If that
Right.
person would be like, listen, I'm addicted to pain pills. I just wanted more pain pills,
can
and then it's like,
understand
all
that,
right. But to send the person a personal message or some what email and saying like, I'm going to release these pictures and out you if you don't give me money. Personally, it's the worst thing I could think of. Like, you might as well just punch someone in the face innocently. Like,
God,
that's the
I'd
equivalent.
rather take the punch.
Yeah.
Like
That's it.
I've been punched before. Every time I hear a story of somebody being outed, it's like the lowest of the low, man. Because it's like,
well, even
because that's such a personal relationship you have.
I look at the blackmail, like obviously they're both horrible and one, but the blackmail is straight up because one could be, hey, I saw this guy at, and you telling someone, still horrible. Why would you do that? But to literally demand money or you're going to tell is like a next step of
I want to know the
POS.
details because they're throwing around extortion and blackmail in the chat room. What's the difference? I don't really know. I don't
Maybe
know if
that's a
there.
Mo question.
I don't know if there is a difference. Yeah, maybe flag this one for Moses to see maybe if we can chat with him about. I'd like to know whether or not this person got in trouble because that's the story.
It's both.
I don't see.
It's
I've looked at
illegal.
a few different articles now, and I don't think they know who it is because it was sent from an anonymous email.
Yeah.
And I don't
No,
see
but
anything about
But
them.
obviously, the person was at the spot. They knew who it is.
Well, it could just been anybody there.
If they
and,
wanted to take it far enough, it sounds to me like that. Well,
you can get like a
I'm
hidden-
gonna play Daniel Dennis,
Yeah.
gay detective here,
yeah, and
but it makes me mad. I hate it.
And the gays are smart. They're hiding their IP address.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's like,
Yeah.
if this is a juggalo, he'd be sending it from his AOL.
Yeah.
This is. I'm sure they probably tried to, because it's virtually impossible if you knew what you were doing. You could set up a ghost email account attached
We
to
had
some
it happen
IP
to
address.
us, and you can't. We had it happen to us, and you can't fully trace it all the way back. You can get close. You can get approximation of where it was sent from.
But
sure.
no, but if you were better than that fool, then you could definitely attach it to an IP address that's in Europe
Oh,
somewhere,
dude, there are
right?
so many
Yeah.
talented people that do stuff like
That's
that.
what I mean. Like you could hide an email.
I
right?
know a person that could really harm your digital life.
yeah.
Like we all know, but I know I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
oh,
We
yeah,
know
yeah.
a guy that if he decided to just use what he knows, he could make you have a really bad day.
But we could go to him and we were like, hey, we want to send an email and we want it to be untraceable. He could figure that out, right? For
Or
sure.
He could get as close as we could get.
Or
Yeah.
like literally.
Or
make
tell us
it-
it's not possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you could probably just make it attached to some ghost IP address in a different country that's in, right? Like you could do stuff and make it untraceable.
Yeah, you can.
Even to the highest professional, right?
Well, I guess unless you would have wanted to dig into the device ID of the email and stuff like that, which is what we were doing. Like when I was digging in there, I was actually looking at emails and then getting the device ID of the Apple product and matching device IDs to see where emails were coming from. So it's a lot. It's a lot bigger than what I know. But yes, the answer is yes.
So now, what's this guy's plan as far as moving
Well, he's
forward?
got an upcoming show on Netflix, a reality show with his friend, Olympic Gus Kentworthy? Olympian? Some articles say friends, some articles say that they're
Gus
dating.
Kentworthy?
Gus Kenworthy.
Gus Kenworthy. That's another good name.
That is a good name.
So he's
I'm
got
Gus
a new
Kenworthy,
Netflix.
Olympian.
That is a solid American name, right?
yeah,
Gus Kentworthy, Olympian.
Yeah. So
Good for him.
what's
Yeah,
They're
man.
both hot.
Hey, go be happy, guys.
He's American freestyle skier.
There you go. Go ski it. Go crazy.
What's the status on reality shows nowadays?
They're
Oh, dude.
popular,
Dude,
super
I
popular,
got
yeah.
into one last night that you're going to hear a lot about. My fire's been rekindled. I know that we got to
we
go
gotta
soon because we have a guest, but I got to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new show that I want you guys to watch as homework.
Okay.
Tom will love it because of what they're on. You guys will love it because of the drama. I love it, and my wife loves it because of the train wreck of it. I started watching Below Deck, but it's the sailing Below Deck. Have you watched The Sailboat?
No.
My dude!
I didn't even know this was still a
It's
show.
so good. One of the main girls on there is a big Trumper, and she's got big fake boobs, and she wears a Trump bikini, and she's like making her boobs go up and down, saying "Make my boobies great again," and TTs for Trump, and then the guy that drives the boat is this bumbling tiny captain. He's like he's like a tiny guy, like little man complex, you know,
right.
and he keeps backing the boat into every dock, and they're tearing this thing to pieces. It's all the back end. It's like a millions of dollars of a yacht that they keep.
But it's a giant sailboat.
It's
yacht.
a giant sailboat yacht, and he's backing it into they're in Croatia, and he's crashing into the crashing. I mean, smashing it where pieces
All
are
right.
flying. Dude, it's
I
so
like
good.
that.
They're all fighting. Then the main deckhand bangs the girl in the kitchen, and then comes to her, and this is the cliffhanger I'm on. Comes to her because his peen has sores all over it.
No.
And she calls her mom crying because she thinks she has an STD, and then oh my God, it's just me and Andrea high five. We're yelling, we're open, baby. It was the
All right.
funniest, craziest show.
What is this on? Netflix?
Okay, it's on Bravo, I think.
Yeah, it's on Bravo.
Bravo.
Dude,
I don't, where is that? I don't know what that is.
You can
It's-
get the app.
Dude, Below Deck, but it's the sailboat one with the tiny captain. And this guy, Tom, the first time he takes the boat out, he wrecks it. He crashes into the dock. The second time he takes it out, he wrecks it harder, tears the whole back end of it off. Oh, it's so good. Then you mix in an STD, then all the people that are on the boat get, the Trump girl gets drunk, then they all get into a big fight.
All right,
Oh,
I'm in.
so good, man.
Is there like rich people that are?
Oh, just
chartering this?
they're rich
Okay.
creatures.
Okay.
It's Bravo's.
I like that.
I figured it out last night. Andrea goes, "How does Bravo make these shows?" I said, "Bravo knows that rich people have egos, and
Yes.
Bravo goes to these rich people and says, "Hey, rich creatures, you weird plastic surgery creatures, you could have this boat for $150 a week with the gas and everything, and we'll put you on our show." And they're like, "Sure, we'll do it because we want to be stars." And then they get in there and then they show what trash they are. And they're just trash.
my favorite thing is rich white trash.
Oh, well, then,
rich white trash. Florida's
then
full.
do I have a show for you?
Florida's the rich white
Oh,
trash
dude,
capital of the world, right?
We are one giant Mar-a-Lago, dude. We're boom. I'm telling you, you got to see this show. Best show I've seen.
All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The Fisher here. What should we plug? We're bad at plugging, buddy. We do all of these shows, and then we forget to tell people where they can connect with the show.
I'll plug the hookups page
I like that.
on tomanddan.com. There's a bunch of hookups, small businesses, large, small, medium, all across
large, small,
Florida.
and medium.
Yeah, we have them all
everywhere.
now. We used to only have small and medium. We now have large businesses on there.
And
Impressive.
they all have Tom and Dan discounts. So go in there if you need anything. Check there first because there's a lot of different products and services that offer discounts to Tom and Dan
It's
listeners.
kind
out
of
there.
like a scummier Angie's List.
Yeah.
That's what not the businesses, us.
And if
That's
you're
the
Right,
preference.
right.
and if you want to advertise on Hookups page, it's $50 a month.
We should have called it Tom and Dangy's List.
Yeah, okay, that would have been better.
Let's do that.
You know
Tony,
what? Let's
change the
scrap
name.
Yeah,
hookups.
Butler, Tom and Dangy's List.
Start over from the
Yeah,
beginning.
start over- oh my God, Butler! Why is Butler naked?
So let's do it.
Oh God, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Is the
weird job.
thing? I gotta find the button. Where's the one that says weird job on it?
Button. Who's got the button?
Tom wanted to do a bit, he called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it, Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you want to refi or you need a mortgage and you need someone to do it right and give you that customer service and make sure it's done right and done
Well, it can be
efficiency.
scary. Yeah, it can be like really, really scary when you go to do that. And whether you're getting pre-qualified for a home that you want to buy, and good luck now because it's crazy. You're going to have to go to Streamline and get that started. If you don't, well, I mean, it may not. Like you said, it may not get handled correctly. I have refied twice.
Yep.
Took some money out, got some floors in my home. You actually are going to pay off your home a lot faster because you're taking advantage of the rates.
Refied to 15-year, took my mortgage insurance off, and my payment wasn't that. And I took some equity of the house to pay some things off. And
Well,
to,
you had you had a couple of those jet skis you bought.
Oh, yeah. Some jet skis. And
I was
some
going to say
other-
something else there, and what you heard the stutter there was me backing off on a joke that I was going to say that was going to be horrible.
Yeah, I bought Doge at 71 cents.
Yeah.
I was like,
man.
it's never going to go lower than this. It's to the moon. It says it.
I was going to say
The T-shirt says it.
I was going to say you bought an old teen from Greenberg.
Yeah, I read an article that Mark Cuban has $1,500 worth of Doge, so it must be good. I'm like, that makes sense.
If it's Doge, it's got to be
I'm
good.
like, that's not even as much as his shoelaces cost. Anyway, let's get our contestant.
I can play the song again if you want.
No. What's your name, Nutella?
Wow.
Her name is
Michaela.
Michaela,
Oh,
not
okay.
Nutella. Oh my
sorry,
God.
Michaela.
No,
Michaela,
Michaela.
how you doing?
Yeah, Michaela.
Michaela. Oh, Sam got it wrong. She was calling you Michaela.
I thought that's what she
Is
said.
it-
Hey,
Answer the phone.
that's okay. I get a lot of different versions, and actually everyone just calls me Mac, so you guys can call me
That's
that as well.
easy.
Are you
All
the
right, Mac.
Are you the Daddy Mac or the Mac
She's
Daddy?
Return of the Mac.
And are you?
A lot of people call me Mac Daddy, Big Mac, mac and cheese, all that type of stuff.
How about Wick Whack Patty Whack? Give a Mac a bone.
I like that one. That's good. I'll throw that out there for
You
others
play, Tom.
to use.
I'm not. So, Mac, what do you do for a living?
All right, so I am a flight instructor, so I teach people how to fly airplanes.
All right.
But I specialize in aerobatics, so I go out and turn upside down, do loops, rolls, all the crazy stuff you guys see in air shows. And I also fly World War II airplanes, so I teach you how to fly stuff from the 1940s.
Now,
Cool.
I'm stereotyping listening to your voice. You don't sound that old. So how does one that is young like you learn to fly vintage World War II aircraft?
Well, you're very sweet. I am 32, so I'm not the youngest out there, but I definitely am on the younger side for warbirds. Really, it was just meeting the right people at the right time. I went to, I don't know if any of you guys are airplane fans, but there's a competition every year called the Reno Air Races, and basically it's like NASCAR in the air. And I went there every year, and I ended up meeting a guy and he happened to own a warbird flight museum, and I just kind of got in with the right people, and now I'm working for him.
So
Cool.
NASCAR in the sky sounds way better than NASCAR.
Yeah.
Because that's no, and no offense, I like car races. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite thing. I like the infield. I like the party. But NASCAR in the sky just sounds extremely dangerous and very scary because are these races, I would imagine these are all vintage aircrafts, right? You can't do that with jets.
Actually, there's a bunch of different classes. There is a jet class, and they go about 500 or 550 miles an hour. There's World War II vintage class, which probably tops out around 500, and then there's a T6 Texan class, and they're probably in the 250 range, and then a sport class and Formula One and biplanes. So all sorts of different airplanes, and they are literally passing each other on a course that's about 50 feet in the air. So it's pretty wild. It's awesome.
That
So-
sounds awesome.
So Mac, I got a ton of questions for you, but before we start, it just popped in my head. My favorite new video on Facebook or the internet is videos of like jet fighters, but in other countries where they don't have the same rules and regulations, flying. Like, I'm not even joking, 20 feet off the ground,
Oh, yeah.
going like Mach 1 and like through the desert, and like someone's filming it on their iPhone, and this jet comes so fast that you're like, oh my God, it blows. It's like, yeah! And then it basically, dust is coming up off the ground from behind it, and you're like, oh my God, that jet gate was 20 feet high, and it's going crazy fast. Have you seen those, Mac?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's no way you'd get away with that in the U.S. We'd have there's a new system out now called ADS-B where literally it's the eye in the sky. It watches you all the time. So if you pull something like that, you're going to get a call from the FAA pretty much same day.
That's why
So
That's why I don't have a phone.
That's I love that they do it in other countries where they don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And they're just effing around with crazy
I
fast
like
jets.
it when they do it in countries and then they call the cops. The cop pulls up in a Lamborghini. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
So, Mac, let's go back to being a flight instructor.
Oh, I thought you were rapping. Hey, Mac, let's go back.
Because my sister-in-law is actually getting her pilot's license, so I've been following her journey through, like, it's been a couple of years now.
Alex has been doing it for a while.
Of her, like, and I think she got her first certification. She took her big test. It was like a solo flight or whatever, but there's so much, like, this is, I mean, we're now into year, like, number 2 of her, like, consistently, like most weekends, taking courses, flying
time in the air.
And then like learning, and I'm like, my God, there's a lot to it now. Obviously, you're flying an airplane, and so, but when she explains it to me, I'm like, could you teach? Because I'm like, could you teach me that faster, like in a 2 weeks time?
There's 2 weeks ago.
So Mac, if your life depended on it, and you gave me 2 weeks, could you teach me how to take off and land like a little one-engine Cessna?
I think that if your life ever depended on anything, that's a very strong motivating factor. So absolutely,
She's a
really
logic
depends
woman.
on how. Yeah, I mean, what's the motivation, right? So it really depends on how fast you want to get it done and how much time and money that you can put into it. Because flight training is a huge draw on the wallet.
I think Tom just fell in love with you. It's like the way that you're talking. God,
pure
I
logic.
looked at his eyes.
Well,
he was like Pepe Le Pew.
She's a pilot. Pilots are logical. They're precise.
She's like, life and death situations will actually ramp up the amount of neurons that are firing. So I would like. I'm like, all right.
But also, you'd actually be really surprised how little of an effort I'd probably give, even if my life depended on it.
You just pay attention.
Like I'm pretty.
He's
even,
like, a life what?
Anyway, so Mac, the instructor side of things, is there way more money, and does this exist where like you get hired by a rich person to be their private instructor, and then it's just like you can set your own rates at that point, or do you have to go through some sort of school where they recommend you? How does that work?
So if you own your own airplane and you want to start a flight school with that, there's obviously a bunch of rules and regulations that you have to follow. But if a really rich dude came up to me and he was like, hey, I have a Cirrus and I want you to teach me how to fly it in 2 weeks because my life depends on it, I would say, well, here's my price and let's get it done. So,
All right.
All business.
yeah, and then you have the flight schools too, who are the really organized, advanced, like Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, if you all have ever heard of them.
Yeah.
They're a Part 141. So basically that's like going back to college for flying, for flight training.
I want to
really
talk about
interesting.
like vintage aircraft and like so what's the type of plane that you fly, the World War II plane, like what's it called?
So the one that I teach in is called the T6 Texan, and the history of that is it was the World War II fighter trainer. So men and women of the WASP, Women Air Force Service pilots, they would maybe first be in something like a Stearman, and then they would hop into a T6, which is a more advanced trainer. It's got retractable landing gear, flat, 600 horsepower, weighs about 6,000 pounds. And they would get really good in that, and then they would go hop into P-51s, P-40s, all the stuff that you see. The iconic World War II fighter aircraft would be the next step. So it's the one right before then. It kicks your butt, that's for sure. It's not a hard airplane to fly, but it's unforgiving. So it absolutely will, as my instructor said, it'll slap you across the face if you let it. So
Yeah, there are
it's a very
certain
unforgiving airplane.
there are certain motorcycles that I know and that you've
Yes.
ridden, Tom, that we both ridden. We know the difference between like a nice $20,000 bagger and a $2,000 hardtail that will literally blow your kidneys through your beehole.
Well, I remember my wife had this cockamamie idea where she wanted like a 1982 Yamaha street bike, like old school style 80s motorcycle, like road bike. and then I went to go buy her
like
this.
riding this around town with Tommy and the Max on the back of it.
This was 15
I
years
know,
ago when she
but
got her license.
I know, yeah.
She got her motorcycle license. She's like, I want this. And I actually was going to buy her one. I went to go to Craigslist, and I actually met some guy in the parking lot. And I was riding around, and I was like, my God, this thing's a death trap. Like, because, and you.
There's nothing to those.
When you drive old cars and stuff, you forget how you got used to the technology, the luxury of new cars, like how quiet everything is. Like you drive a car or a motorcycle or anything. So I imagine you fly a plane and you're like, oh my God, like this thing is dangerous. Like, how does it feel?
Or is there a sense here, let me just throw this on there too. Or is there a sense of calm that you get because it's so rudimentary and simple that it feels maybe less could go wrong?
I would say it can kind of be what both of you guys said, where you worry about things with it being older, and also being a piston propeller aircraft. But then you think about, well, this thing's been around since the 1940s. So obviously they got something right back then. And the fact that there's still, 350, 400 T6s out there flying, that really has something to say for the mechanic side of things. But yeah, you're always on the edge of your seat when you fly airplanes in general. It's a lot of fun, but there is the added whole altitude portion. So, in a car, your engine starts acting up. You pull off on the side of the highway, but in the airplane, obviously, you got to find a place to land. So there's just always that added component.
Have you ever had to emergency land a vintage aircraft?
I have not had to emergency land a vintage aircraft, but I actually had an engine issue before I had my license. So before you have your license, as I think when he was talking about your sister-in-law, I think that she's getting her license, she's soloed and stuff. So you have to do 10 hours of solo time before you get your license. And I was on a long cross country, and one of my fuel sumps broke, and all the fuel drained out. And I actually ended up landing in a field. So I have done that, but it was in a small airplane. It wasn't in the big World War II one, so I'm happy about that.
Well, speaking of that, did you see that in that air show? I believe it was Daytona. They love air shows at Daytona.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a big fan of Daytona lately. So yeah.
So, but did you see that that guy landed that vintage aircraft in the ocean?
I just had to get a snow cone.
And I think it was an expensive problem right there, right?
Yeah, that was the Cocoa Beach Air Show, and it was unfortunately it was an airplane that just got out of restoration about 2 years ago. So it was almost brand new back on the line, and there's a lot of speculation going around right now. Obviously, everyone's talking around the water cooler type of thing, saying, hey, there was smoke coming out of it, and he should have turned back for the airport. But there's no definitive report out yet. So, I mean, I don't know. Anytime that you have an issue with something like that, though, whether it's an old airplane or a new airplane, like, I'm heading back to the airport. I'm not going to take a chance.
What's the oldest plane that they fly in these shows? Like, do they fly like the World War I biplane style?
I'd like
or
to see somebody use like a demo version of what the Wright brothers had and just kind of glide.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see some really old.
Yeah, we actually have one of those hanging from the roof in our museum, one of those really old Demoiselle. Those things are pretty much made out of paper, by the way. They're terrifying.
Oh my God.
But, yeah, you have World War II or World War I airplanes flying in some air shows. There's not a lot of them out there. They're mostly fabric, so I don't think they hold up very well. But there's a few out there. There's a place in Virginia that has a lot of World War I airplanes, and they put on a World War I show every year. Definitely something to check out.
When you're stunt flying, are there more worries about putting too much stress on the airplane and like the wings breaking off and stuff? Like, it's like you're doing stuff that may not be a normal takeoff and land procedure. You're banking super hard and stuff like. And if a wing does fly off, is there any? Do you have a parachute? Do you have a way to get out? Like, or is it just?
Do you have a small revolver?
Or is it? You're done.
Yeah. So airplanes have something called weight and balance. So before you go fly, you have to make sure that you're under a certain weight, and then also you have to make sure that you're within what's called a CG. So basically, imagine the airplane balancing on the tip of a pencil, and that's what the CG is. So you have to make sure that the airplane can be balanced both in the nose portion as well as the tail. And as long as you're within the weight and the balance of the aerobatic category of the plane itself, and you stay within what's called a G limit. So imagine like if you're pulling up and you feel your body getting pressed into the seat, or if you guys have obviously been on commercial airliners when they take off, you're probably feeling about maybe 1.5 to 2 Gs, which basically means take your body weight and multiply that by 2. And that's the forces that you're feeling on your body. So most aerobatic planes are rated up to, let's say, like 5, 6, 7 Gs. And the military airplanes are rated up to 10, 12, 14 Gs. So as long as you stay within those parameters, technically nothing should break off. That doesn't mean that it won't. So obviously you pre-flight before you go out and you check the wings and stuff. But to answer your question about parachutes, absolutely, I'm wearing one. I've been told it's very hard to get out of the back seat because the instructor sits in the back, but I think I'd be, again, highly motivated. And I would shove my student out as quick as I can so that I can get out. Just kind of throw them out the door, basically. And we're all wearing parachutes.
I would do that, too. If this studio caught on fire, I would push everybody down and run for the door.
Mac,
everybody.
Yeah.
As I'm listening to you talk, I think like as
female Tom Van.
I've had this conversation with I have this buddy Logic Man. He's a skydiver, and he's now traveling the country like a nomad because he can't find anybody to be with because he's too logical. He's like a GD computer.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
He's doing a cross country quest for love.
He's traveling by himself.
You guys are roasting the hell out of him. Poor Logic Man.
He was in the Grand Canyon by himself.
Tell him to get off a Voxer. I know you guys are being mean to him.
No.
And I love him. We love Andy.
He's in the Grand Canyon talking about Bitcoin by himself.
That sounds terrible.
Because he's too logical to find love. Now, Mac,
you should give him his own reality
are
show.
you a Logic woman? And
you can't hear it?
Yeah,
She's
no,
wearing
I hear
a parachute right now. She's sitting in an office.
And are you married or are you single too because you're too logical?
So the guy I told you guys about that I met in Reno, the air racer, we've been together for about 7 years.
Wow. Another air racer, yeah. He's trying to find another,
He's like, pull the pants down, let me see that hair show.
You got to go straight to the top. straight to the top. That's where you start.
Yeah, and usually pilots are into other pilots because they're alpha mentality.
This is my penis. I'm going to use it. This is my vagina. I have one of those. These are great. You have excellent breasts. Thank you so much. They are called breasts.
Have you watched the astronaut show on Apple?
Have you watched that
all-
show on Apple?
For all mankind?
Have not.
Oh, you gotta watch. It's about female and
Don't tell her
male
what- don't tell
astronauts
her what to-
and fighter pilots and the whole program.
Have you seen Rick and Morty?
Cool.
So
It's funny. It's funny.
Oh no, this is about a female pilot.
She's not an astronaut.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
No, I know, but
at the
it's,
end of the day, maybe she's sick of flying, and all she wants to do is curl up with her logical boyfriend and watch some Rick and Morty.
So do you have the ability to fly jets? Because I know there's a whole different license for that.
Yeah, I have all this. I have commercial, multi-engine, all that type of stuff, and I do a little bit of flying to the Bahamas with passengers and cargo.
Can you be hired for a little, let's say, search and recovery? Search the Bahamas, recover some poon.
Yeah, there.
Well, just
if you have the plane, let's do it.
Dude, get us a plane. We got a pilot.
So you could basically, if it's got wings, you could fly it.
Well,
This isn't an episode of MacGyver where his sidekick,
No,
his
she's right.
sidekick comes in and goes, "Hey MacGyver, if it's got wings, I can fly it." It's that fat guy with the hat. I hated that fat guy.
No, she can fly.
No,
She's rated for prop and jet. That's it.
You just basically compared her to the fat guy with a leather jacket in MacGyver, who ended up being a bad guy. If you'll remember, I think in one of the episodes he turned his back on MacGyver for some money.
Let me ask you this: by yourself, if there's nobody, could you get on a 747, get in the cockpit, take off, and land with zero instruction, just what you know now?
I do not think so. I wouldn't know how to.
Well, that's the
turn
difference
them
between
on.
you and I, because I can do it.
Yeah.
I think you're selling yourself short, Mac. You could do it. You could get in there.
I guess
Maybe
her
in
up.
the air, I could fly it in the air and maybe figure out how to land it, but I don't even know if I'd know how to start
Tom's
it.
in love.
no,
I've never
you
seen
just
Tom
go-
defend a guest like this
know.
before. He's in love.
Throttle all the way down, pull up. So, you know what I'm saying?
I think there might be a little more to it than that, Tom.
It's like modern day. It tells you the computer's like switch the switch.
You know, I'm going to trust the person that actually flies things.
Like, for
on this
instance,
one.
when Max
it tells
said,
you how to do it.
when Max said, when I'm flying planes, you're always on the edge of your seat, I was like, I've been on commercial planes. Those guys are they're doing nothing.
You're on TikTok.
They hit them
It's all
Those
autopilot.
planes are computers. So most companies, after 400 feet, they push a button and the plane flies itself the rest of the flight.
Okay, do you have to walk outside of your plane, and you have to take your goggles and put them on top of your leather hat, and then you got to go over to the propeller, and do you have to go like the Is that what you do?
Well, I do have a leather helmet, so I've got part of the image there, yeah. And it does have goggles on it.
That's
although
dope.
wear
I
them.
don't care who
But,
you are. Leather. You wear a leather helmet. That's
Yeah.
cool. Or really goofy.
Yeah. But no, these planes, it would be really hard to hand start them. So we actually have an electric starter. So we just push or flip a switch and the prop starts turning.
Pussy.
I know. Hey, but if it makes any difference, I do pull the prop through every morning. So I got some muscle.
No, it's really. I think
I work out.
everything that you do, and the fact that you
It's
do
impressive.
with the vintage stuff, is like had you called it, and this is no knock on like modern day aircrafts, but there's something very, very cool about the fact that not only do you fly the older aircrafts, but you can hear the appreciation that you have for them, And unless people like you are out there training people to do it and flying them as a younger generation, then we're destined to lose some of this cool stuff. So
So I've seen some other videos of planes and they may be just optical illusion where they're RC planes. It looks like it is a full-size plane, but they're flying kind of like RC planes where literally the prop is kind of acting like a helicopter and the body of the plane is hanging a little bit below, and it's like, and it's like, and like, I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen that before. Is that just some sort of like they took all the weight out and it's all engine, or?
So airplanes have a thing called thrust-to-weight ratio. So the really powerful airplanes that have a huge engine and a huge prop, but they're not that heavy, can do stuff like that. So you guys might see, like in air shows, the extras and kind of those crazy planes that do like the really insane falling out of the sky flipping maneuvers. Their power-to-weight ratio is really high. So they can basically what's called hang on the prop. So that thing you guys are talking about, that's literally like where the propeller is acting almost as a helicopter blade and holding the plane up due to just its thrust and that it's not very heavy. Absolutely, there's planes out there like that. Yeah, this one not. This one would not.
Can you fly helicopters as well, or do you look down on them?
I can fly them. I don't have my license in them, but I can fly them. I have about 20 hours in a helicopter, and I do plan to do my helicopter license, but that's a totally separate.
Yeah, they won't let me do it because I'm on crazy
No, you
pills.
just don't tell them that.
They told me because I got about 2 years ago, or maybe even more than that. Now I got really into like researching helicopters. I was convinced that was the way to overcome my fear of flying. Which I just realized that overcome my fear of flying, I just needed to fly more.
Or Xanax and beer.
Well, have you ever been at the controls, or have you always just been a passenger?
I've only been a passenger on. Only been a passenger, and it's definitely a control thing. I think if I rode with you and you explained everything to me, like I was in Andrea's uncle's helicopter, and I was not scared at all. And being with you, I bet you I wouldn't be scared because you'd be like, here, I'm doing this, and I wouldn't be scared.
I just thought of something, Mac. Would you take me up on a plane?
No, she's going to take me up.
Well, I have a specific thing I need. I saw on Travis Pastrana's Instagram, like some Red Bull pilot friend of his took him in like some Cessna, and he got his kids in the back, and they were doing basically zero G maneuvers where they were just like diving down, and his kids were floating like they were getting the like the vomit comet. They get that like the zero gravity.
Oh, let's do that.
And I was like, oh, he's giving the kids the zero gravity. Could you, if we go up, could you give my kids the zero gravity?
Well, I can give one of your kids at a time the zero gravity. Absolutely, it's a 2-seat plane, so yeah, we could go up there and float them a little bit.
I don't know if your wife's gonna let just one of our listeners.
It's Mac.
Little Mac. Hey, Mike Tyson's punch out.
Look at my credentials. I promise I'm trust. I've taken a lot of kids up.
I trust you with my life already. I'm not joking. I just from talking to you, I trust you with my life and my family's life.
There's no way I'm putting my daughter on Pizzagate Airlines.
I could hear the confidence in your voice. I know you're an ace.
Yeah, she is pretty stone cold.
Yeah. You're good. You're a logic woman.
I think I'd like to see you and your boyfriend make love because I bet it's very, very by the book, and I bet you there's no mistakes made. It is like literally.
Precise.
It is literally from gear up to landing. It is spot on perfect. Have a Gatorade.
Yeah, we're calculating out the different angles and figuring out the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah,
the lights are on.
And it's all journaled. You got to write it down in the book to make sure. Yeah, you got to get flight log.
We got to adjust.
You don't have dreams and then you get mad at your boyfriend after, right? Like you also you don't cry very much, right, Mac?
No, but I do have a weird thing where I don't know if you guys have this. There's a trigger that you can figure out in your dreams where you know you're dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you guys have that where you can figure out you're dreaming because of a certain thing?
Well, I usually turn over. I'm like, wait a minute. Andrea's still here. Not dreaming.
I don't even have dreams, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my trigger is if in the dream I cheated on him, I know I'm dreaming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too logical.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Matt
do
controls
that.
her dreams.
You're like, this is not my behavior. It must be a dream.
Obviously. Let's walk around for a little while.
Well, Mac, thank you. Let's. We got to ask the question. I'm not sure if
you got too excited with your new love. You didn't want to ask her the question.
What can someone make as a flight instructor? I don't know, like the stunt pilot. Do you get paid for that?
If you go do air shows, I don't do air shows, but obviously getting paid to instruct people to do those type of tricks. So. The way that I get paid is it's per flight hour, so I make about $50 per flight hour. So we're motivated, obviously, to get as many students and fly as much as possible because that's how we make our money.
Awesome. And where do you teach? Throw out a plug for yourself, and if anybody wants to learn, because I'd like to learn from Mac.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, our company's name is Warbird Adventures, and we're based out of Kissimmee, Florida, and we're just down at the Kissimmee Gateway Airport, and we're open Monday through Saturday, 5 to 9, and we also have a museum.
That's awesome. Why haven't I ever known about this cool place?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great for kids and stuff. You guys all come down.
Definitely. Go check it out. Hey, Mac, you have been, and I was, looking through the chat room, you've been one of our most favorite guests, and I would love to have you back on sometime, or maybe go out there and walk around and maybe do a go-to show or something. Or...
Yeah, maybe you take us up in an old World War II warbird.
Something. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Absolutely, and if one of you guys did decide to fly one of the World War II planes, everything is videoed and the audio is all there. So,
that's amazing.
All your reactions when you're turning upside down, it's all recorded.
That's crazy.
I will make no reaction.
There is
Can you make me pass out? Because I think I could fight that.
Remember Jesse James?
Well, I don't want to make you pass out, but if the goal is to make you throw up, I mean,
it's already been done.
I don't throw up.
Do you remember Jesse James
You
from
can't
West
make
Coast
me throw up.
Choppers? He did a video where he got in a plane.
Yeah.
A
And he
jet,
thought he was tougher.
He held it. They were like, we're going to make
did
it,
it?
and he stood there with no emotion. Remember, this is a man who banged a Nazi. He's no emotion. He's sitting there. He's just sitting there, and then he just goes. He just closes his eyes and falls asleep. That's it. I was like, this is boring.
I like the fact that he didn't do it, and he did it, but it was
just like
anticlimactic.
He's just like, good night.
All right, Mac. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, sounds
All right.
good. Thank you guys.
Thanks
See
again.
ya.
Be well. Take care.
Also, follow her on Instagram. It's Fly with Mac on Instagram.
Oh,
She's
cool.
the cutest thing ever, right? How
Yeah.
cool is she? Also tough. I shouldn't say cute. She'll beat me up.
She's
Yeah,
ripped,
yeah.
dude.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, you can hear it in her voice.
That's-
There's a certain level of like extreme intelligent confidence there, where you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that she knows her stuff. I almost cursed. You know she knows her stuff.
I think that's the type of Logic woman that Logic Man's looking for. He
Yeah,
told me he's
we
like,
need
I
to
can't-
introduce him to Mac, but sorry,
Yeah, you
Mac's
already
taken
got-
it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
already got a pilot.
by a pilot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Don't tell Andy that. He'll be sad.
Oh, he
He'll be
knows
looking
it.
at pictures of Mac.
Yeah.
He goes to Kissimmee.
He should have become a pilot. That's where.
He'd be perfect.
That's where it's at. Like Skydivers 2, Gen X.
Yeah. Who do you think? Oh, look at me.
Big Al got
Hey,
the
who do you
dreads.
think you are? Snoop Dogg? Fly a plane.
All right, bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And, yeah.
Yep. Fringe Week continues, and we got some more guests. And these guests, they're going to do a show about a topic that I've been recently into because my sons are into it. And so I've relearned exactly the whole Star Wars, universe and where it starts.
See, why
or
do
where
you say that, though? Why do you say you have relearned it? So now you're leaving yourself open to be quizzed.
No, but I'm
about
saying,
it.
I had an idea of I knew the movies, but now
Your boys
we're
are
going
like-
from start to.
They're both feet. I think your sons are both feet in, right?
Yeah.
They're into it. Yeah, they love it.
Yeah. Although we got to the old movies, which were the beginning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're not so much. They
I
like
think
all the new content.
eyes have a problem digesting old celluloid.
It also went slow. The pace of the movies were slower.
Yeah.
Because it was in the 70s. Everything
I
was
like
slower.
15-second TikTok cuts. That's what I love.
Pacing is entirely different. I was watching Willy Wonka with some of my my students in school, and they don't go to the chocolate factory till halfway through that movie.
Right.
The first
Oh,
half is just a sad small boy being depressed and
Yeah.
opening empty candy bars. That's the whole half of the movie.
I didn't even think about that. Let's introduce our guests, sir.
Justin and Taylor are here. They have a friend show, Darths and Droids. And
The plural of Darth is hard to say. Darths.
Darths.
I like
we
that.
struggle with that as well.
Darths and Droids. I like that.
How's it going, guys?
It's going great. We're really
Happy
excited.
Friends, y'all.
Thank you
And welcome.
It's nice to
And
be
also with
back
you.
and with your spirit.
Yes.
We are very, very excited. We were going to be a part of the Fringe that never was last year.
Yeah.
And this show has been something that we've been growing. 2 years ago, we took it to the Tampa Fringe Festival and started it there, sort of our first sort of production run. and we were excited to build it to Orlando, bring it to Orlando, and of course the whole world fell apart as it does.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we're excited to have it here. We had our tech rehearsal yesterday that just went chef kiss. It was so good.
Love it.
And we open tomorrow, and we're just all very stoked.
So tell us about how you came up with the idea for this. I know your kids are here, and the show is actually cool for 7-year-olds and up, and that's fine. Listen, I'm surprised. When I put my kids on any sort of tablets, they literally will sit there and forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they will. I can leave. And they will not even
My daughter
look
will
up.
not, though. My daughter, if she were sitting there, my daughter would get out of the chair and she'd walk right over to me, and she'd probably pull my pants down in front of you guys and bully me incessantly because she is a very, very mean woman.
But this show actually is, like you suggest, 7 years old and up, so kids can see it. Now, tell us about it, though.
Okay, so this show is basically working around the premise that what if Star Wars didn't exist, right? So you imagine a world where Star Wars didn't exist, but basically everything else did, everything else leading up to it.
Okay.
So what we have is a group of tabletop role players, D&D fans, taking a break from their regular campaign because everybody got quarantined and trying to do something new, and they decide we're going to do a space fantasy game, and they go through the entire plot of Star Wars The Phantom Menace and say, what if instead of a character that was written by a team of writers in George Lucas's mind, Jar Jar Binks was created by a 12-year-old girl who joined at the last minute, right?
Okay, all right.
I have big, long, floppy bunny ears, and I'm peachy, pinky white, and a tongue like an anteater, and I have eyes on stalks on my head.
Yeah,
I talk in a funny voice.
It makes a lot more sense when you explain it like that, right?
Exactly.
than grown-ass men creating that actual character. This is cool, man. I like this. Are you a big tabletop game mun?
I am an absolutely huge fan. I was introduced to it in high school, I think, as many of us were.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a gateway. I started with trading card games as sort of like the gateway nerddom.
Sure.
And I got into D&D. And the thing that I loved about D&D was just sort of the explorative nature of it, the improvisational aspects.
Yeah.
And just trying to basically taking it as guidelines rather than rules and running with it. And the characters in this campaign do that same sort of thing. Now, this entire story is based off of an online webcomic by the same name, Darths and Droids.
Okay.
And what they do is it's written by these guys called the Comic Irregulars. They take stills from the movie and they redo it as if it's done an entire comic strip. And they've gone through basically every single one of the Star Wars movies all the way through the canon. They've been doing it for 10, 12 years, something
And they
like
just
that.
rip through it.
And they just rip through it, doing the whole thing. And I, 3 years back, reached out to them and I was like, I had read through the entire Phantom Menace and I was like, this was incredible. This is amazing. And this would work on stage. So I reached out to them, these guys in Australia, and I was like, hey, can I do this? And we worked out how to do it, and they gave me their full blessing. So this is an authorized adaptation of that webcomic. So fans of the webcomic can see it live on stage. Fans of the stage show can go back and read through it in excruciating detail on their thing, and it's hilarious. This team is incredible writers from Australia, and I'm blessed to be able to work with their content.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, do you need a question from the chat room? Do you need a solid base? Should you brush up on your Star Wars before, getting your button and your ticket for the Fringe Festival?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I don't necessarily think that that's the case. If you have a vague general understanding of Star Wars, even if you are able to pick up on a couple pop culture references, if it's been, a few years, you shouldn't be too lost because it's all about the parody of the thing and the camaraderie of the players in the end.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the characters themselves, of course, don't know anything from Star Wars. And it's one of those things where if you've never Star Wars'd before, you're going to be able to, I know that at least. Oh, I know this. I know that.
Right.
But if you're a deep Star Wars fan, you're going to get intimate, references, intimate jokes that you're going to, really be able to click with, connect with.
I apologize because Butler may be torturing your kids
What's
out
going on out
there.
Well, he keeps he keeps putting on a gorilla mask and then jumping out of the bathroom at them. And I walked in there, I told him not to do that. He continues to do it. Now
the problem is my son, he prefers orangutans.
Well, now he's trying to show him old pornographic magazines. I'm going to have to call the cops.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to have him arrested.
So speaking of that, my wife yelled at me about. Thank God we took a lot of the inappropriate things out because my sons were here.
Is that why you turn your computer monitor off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Butler's fault. I go home. I'm gonna get him back out.
Oh, well, there's one right in front of you. You gotta tuck that in there. Tuck that in. What are you doing? Tuck that in there. Yeah.
I know. We don't
Yeah, I'm noticing. I noticed that guy earlier.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's a religious figure. Yeah.
I mean,
it's inappropriate. I apologize. So, I was just thinking about imagine because there was a movie I watched, some indie movie where a guy woke up and the Beatles never existed. He woke up in an alternative universe. Yeah. It was yesterday. Yeah. And the similar premise, like he was a musician and he woke up and it was like a Groundhog Day scenario. No one knew who the Beatles were. And then like he started just playing Beatles songs and people were like, "Oh my God, that's an amazing song." And then he became super famous because he just literally stole every Beatles song he remembered and put them out as his
awesome. I wish I stole all the Beatles songs.
I'm thinking if that happened, like say you woke up in a world where Star Wars never existed, could you remember enough? Like I for sure couldn't, but like could Butler or could you remember enough where you could literally come out with all the same content?
See, I think with Star Wars in particular, I think if I was to wake up in a world where Star Wars didn't exist, right, and I had the opportunity to write Star Wars, I think most fans would agree with this that wouldn't be one of those things where it's like, oh, I could just make Star Wars again. It was like, oh, I could fix Star Wars.
Yeah, because there's so many things, but that's what makes it good. It's like you start fixing all these, flaws that the true.
It wouldn't be what people love about it if it wasn't.
Well, you
wrong,
wanted to fix Andy Dufresne sanding a boat yesterday.
You're
not wrong. The movie should end on the bus. You're correct.
He knows that this is my man here.
No, the movie should.
I'll give you more time to promote
now. This is my man here.
He knows that. Why is he sanding it?
This is twice the time has fallen in love today.
That movie is a beautiful movie and it has like 4 endings, and each time I'm like, this is the credits roll. Nope, he's doing something. Oh no, he's walking. Okay, cool. Now the credits roll by the fence. No, he's standing a boat. Okay, credits roll. No, they meet on the beach now. Oh, okay.
Just have him stand. Well, my problem is that he's sanding a boat. That's stupid. No one starts refurbishing
unless
a boat.
You want to destroy the boat.
But you can sand it, yes, but no one starts the refurbish process with the boat
that's what I'm saying.
Stuck on the side in the ocean beached.
The way he's sanding it, it looks like he wants to sand it all the way down to the. You see what I'm saying? He's like destroying it with sandpaper.
You gotta get it all.
Where do you think all the beach sand came from?
I like that. So, it's not even sand; it's wood dust.
So did you?
What if sand didn't exist?
Did you write this with your wife?
Not the writing process, but the making it readable process. So she is a writer herself. And so we each do a lot of different writing things. And so I'm a very stream of consciousness writer. So I started the process by basically just transcribing the entire comic strip onto paper, putting it in the format of a play, and then going back and seeing what worked for the comic and what worked for stage, and sort of tweaking that way. But there's a lot of sort of like the actual technical grammar things that I can't do.
And sometimes that gets in the way, especially I write conversationally too. And, and my wife just shreds it. She's like, this is garbage. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but if you read it like you're saying it, it's good.
Yeah. So basically, she takes a piece of coal and is able to smash it into a diamond. But her powerhouse is running this entire show. So she's our producer. She's our sort of thing like that. So I've taken on the role of the writer, and of course I'm an actor in it as well. And she has basically taken the show and has made it on the forefront of the Fringe.
Is it difficult to do that with? Like Tom and I, we make a lot of jokes. Obviously, we love our wives, or we wouldn't be with them. We love our families. But is it difficult?
Okay.
My wife is a perfect human being, and I would love to be able to join in the camaraderie of the old ball and chain. But she has done nothing but lift me up my entire life. So she has made my process easier every step of the way. When I did this in Tampa, I did it without her because we had so much things going on that we didn't want to commute the whole family all the way to Tampa every single night.
Sure.
And so doing that alone was an incredibly difficult process, and then having her here being able to do this and keep this show on track has been like a gift from heaven.
That's awesome.
I couldn't imagine producing something with my wife. And
you did, 2 sons.
If you hold that laugh,
two beautiful boys.
But that was pretty.
That's
very
fun.
Little work.
Pumping's fun.
I had to not do something to make that happen.
You contributed literally the smallest possible part of the process.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have big loads. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry.
Amazing. No, you're
sorry.
No, is that amazing? It's not amazing.
I was just thinking, me and my wife would never be able to work together to get anything accomplished. Like we butting heads, you'd be like, "I'll do it all. You're an idiot."
The only difference,
I'm like, "Well, you do it. I'm lazy."
I figured it out. Tom says that he and his wife could never work together to do that. The only difference between you and I is I would tell everybody that I could work with my wife and do that, but I can't. That's the only difference. Is I would just lie to you guys. And say I could totally do it.
We function almost the opposite way. So we are always like, oh, we can handle. I'm gonna do this alone. I'm gonna do this by myself. But we're always like, we like each other in a very rare sort of way.
Yeah, that's
good. So we always like, yeah, I'm gonna do this process alone, and then we're like, oh, can you help me with this? Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah. I mean, any of these type of things. Also, the one thing that it's not the one thing, but like one of the bigger things that I love about Fringe is so many of these stories are so personal. Like even hearing this origin story of how you found it, how you contacted the guys in Australia, that's a lot of work just to get to the point where you're allowed to be able to like adapt it, right?
And it's funny too because they're nerdy guys, they're cool guys, they are also trying to have these sort of casual conversations where we're like, hey, we're both big fans of Star Wars, both big fans of tabletop, we're both big fans of this content, we want to do stuff with it, but at the same time trying to navigate the legalese that they have to deal with. As far as, because they started doing this as sort of a fan thing, and as it blew up for them, it got the eyes of the ever watchful corporations being like, hey, you're using our images, and they're like, no, it's we're adapting them, we're changing them. So they have this thing where they're like, they're allowed to do it as long as they take no profit from it, make no money on it, that sort of thing. So they're allowed to do it purely as a artistic endeavor.
So you're not allowed to take, like, let's say a helmet from Star Wars and then make it look like some movie prop and then sell it for profit.
Correct.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
I guess we made no.
Somebody better check out Butler's Haberdashery, as it's called on Instagram.
I don't think they have enough eyes though. That's the thing. If you got
but I got two and I'm turning them in.
So like because we have an intern that is
This
selling.
guy. Yeah. Oh man. What won't he sell? He'll sell anything.
I don't know how their team handles it, but I know that at least specifically for these guys, these Darths and Droids guys.
His wife's not part of the team. His wife hates his nerd stuff.
Disney's legal.
She thinks the nerd stuff's dragging down her brand of successful doctor.
Yeah. He's buying it off Amazon and then putting some paint on it and then selling it for astronomical prices.
A nice Stormtrooper helmet and then putting poo-poo on it, putting it on a stick and then selling it to
like
$100. Who are these dumb? Sorry, Christine. Everybody but Christine. She's not stupid.
There's a guy here that does that. Do you have a problem with anybody that is like super Star Wars fan that because anytime someone's really into something, they get really mad when someone has their own interpretation of what that is, and they're like, wait a minute, this is not right. Have you run across any of that?
Not as far as like Star Wars fans being like, now hold on a second, Jar Jar Binks is really the greatest character ever written.
Right.
But we do encounter diehard fans of Darths and Droids who, not like antagonistically, but on like our video from our Tampa production that we had up on our YouTube page. We get a lot of people in the comments who are like, man, you had to cut this line. Like, oh, that was my favorite line. You cut my favorite line out of the show. I'm like, man, these are all my favorite lines too. But this is 76 pages of a comic book that I'm trying to turn into 45 minutes.
Gotcha.
Right. And then it becomes
it's already a breakneck pace, which makes it perfect for the festival. It's this quick turnaround. And so this sort of like tabletop game, which you watch things like Critical Role, Dimension 20, Adventure Adventure Zone. These other like tabletop content creators. Their sessions go 6-7 hours long.
Oh yeah, they're epic.
This one in the comic strip takes maybe days, weeks for them to go through, and we're going through it as if it was just an evening of these guys all getting together.
Yeah, I was gonna compliment you too. You rip, man. You can talk. You're a very fast talker, but you accurately talk quickly, and I was like, oh, I bet your show is pretty fast.
It is. It's very fast paced, but I think that's what makes it so engaging is we're going through all those steps, all those processes.
We like that.
Yeah.
That's how we run our show.
Yeah.
It's sometimes
you guys speak so slowly, like a southern drawl, though.
I know.
It's molasses out of your mouth. John Goodman plays you in the movie.
Yeah, I got head injury and lots of THC.
He had to pause to think of the word head.
The top body boo boo.
I'm illiterate. I got marble mouth.
A lot of
head
problems.
injury.
Yeah.
Lots of THC.
And he fell in love with a female pilot this morning. Crazy.
Mac, my true love.
He loves Mac.
But she's in love with Ace.
The new Mac and me is going to be Mac and Tom.
Tom said I love Mac, but she's in love with the Ace.
I can win her. Wait till
You
she
can win
sees
her.
me fly.
That's how you die. That's how you die. Okay. But anyway.
Rocket 700 miles an hour. Anyway.
What's the hardest thing when you're putting on a live performance like this and when you've created it? What is the absolute hardest thing before you go on stage? Do you get nervous? You don't look like the type of person where you'd get nervous. And most of the guys we have in here, we have Ginger Minge in here. I don't think she gets nervous.
Yeah,
like you look at these people, they're professionals, they've been doing this, and Fringe is one of the only things that you see professionals execute it, but that it doesn't seem. I don't know, how do I say this without it sounding like a?
It doesn't seem amateurish.
Right, but it is very intimate.
Right,
It is
correct.
a theater. It is like real seats.
These are professionals doing amateur theater, not amateurs doing professional theater, and I think that's the distinction.
Yes.
As far as like getting nervous, though, I think that's one of the things that we as performers pride ourselves in is this idea that you would see us perform on stage and go, that the person doesn't look like they get nervous beforehand.
Yeah, I love it.
But I mean, I'll tell you that I get crazy nervous, and the worst of all is I get the nervous poops. I'm one of those guys that's got to take a big old dookie right before I go on stage.
Oh, yeah,
so
we're
it's
big
always,
dookie men.
do I have time? Do I have time to go? Do I have time to go poop? Do I have not? So you watch me perform on stage with energy and enthusiasm. It's because I'm clenching.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it's
Big poop energy.
It's a water dookie because that's a nervous one.
Yeah. Mine have a tendency to, I have IBS.
So, OrlandoFringe.org.
I like how you, it was like, I have IBS, give it a pause, OrlandoFringe.org.
Where am I supposed to go over there?
This is why we're a media partner, because they know we keep them running.
At the Yellow venue, ages are 7 and up, so you can take your kids.
Yep.
All 7-year-olds watching this show right now, make sure to come on, check it out.
Yeah. I got a 7-year-old.
It's a $10 ticket. All the money goes to the people putting on the show.
Yeah.
Which is what's really, really cool. You will pay your ticket. You'll buy your button first. I'll keep hammering that until the day I die.
Yeah.
Then you'll get your ticket, but you'll get to meet the person. That $10 went straight to their pocket, which is really, really cool.
And the way that our production company runs things too is that we do sort of like a share system with all of our performers. So you watching these people on stage. You buy your ticket, and each dollar goes to each of the people you see up there.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. Justin, thanks so much for coming in. Tell your wife Taylor we
absolute
we appreciate
hero.
it. Yeah. Then she's running the
Let's
show.
give some love for moms.
Yeah.
Give some love to moms.
She had to go, take care of business.
Run in here before we sign off.
Yeah. Please, we run things loose. Don't even worry about it. This is how we do things.
I talk too much.
We're the perfect show for this type of stuff because it just gives us something to talk about.
Yeah,
we're also dads, so we fully understand.
Oh yeah.
You got the bods for it, yeah.
How dare you?
I like that he's throwing shade.
I would have
while
loved
he's
it if
promoting
Tom.
his show.
I would have loved it if he was like, you know what? You can get the.
Look, I'm not.
No, you have a social network vibe going on.
Oh, thank you.
You got who's the
I feel
guy?
like I should be. You get out of here.
That
Mark
guy.
Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Like
How dare you?
Piper.
All right, I see how it is. You dish it back at
Zuckerberg.
me. That's fine. All right, whatever.
Oh man, a
we need an
little bit of
element
Tom in
now.
there.
Ouch.
For MySpace?
MySpace Tom.
His little profile picture of him like writing on the board, When I was in like middle school or whatever, I tried to get a MySpace without my parents knowing, and I immediately started the MySpace page, and I had a friend already on the list of somebody I didn't know, and I was horrified. I was like, who is this stranger? Tom from MySpace.
Oh my God, you threw it like a little. The MySpace was out when you were in middle school.
That was for me. That was a subtle take that old man.
I'm just guys.
I was 8 years into my radio career with the MySpace. They were like, "What is this?" Anyway, sorry, Taylor.
Did your parents, or did you think that your parents sent Tom to spy on you online?
No, I was always warned that they were dangerous strangers. I thought Tom was, a pedophile.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this one is. There it is.
I thought Tom was a
name.
pedophile.
I'm not going to let people come in here and insult me without insulting you.
You know what I miss from MySpace? The neon Rasta smoking a joint. The flashes.
I
want to put
I miss
that on
being
my-
able to rate my friends. I miss having a chart of letting them know exactly where they stand.
I
Yes.
miss being able to make it so when you came to my MySpace, it would play Welcome to Jamrock by Damian Marley, and you couldn't shut it down. It would just start blasting. interesting.
I forgot the top 13 friends, right? Like they can make it in that list.
Now I have to send weekly emails updating them with where they stand with me, and that's a little more tedious.
Gotta put them in their place.
Exactly.
Well,
You guys are awesome. Good luck with the show.
Thank you.
I know it's going to be great. And again, guys, I'll give them one more huge plug. Darths, which is fun to say. Darths and Droids, $10. Yellow venue, starts the 19th. I think we got that right?
Yep.
Starts the 19th. OrlandoFringe.org. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you
Thank
guys for having us.
you.
We'll take a
problem.
quick break, and when we get back, we'll have more guests. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Perfect.
welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. Is there anything to plug before we get to our next guest, sir?
I'll just plug Fringe Week.
Yes.
And we
the
just
busiest week of our broadcasting lives.
more seats available. Brian just told us they're opening it up. So get your
What about
tickets now.
signs? What about What about mask?
Don't bring it up.
Sorry. What about mask signs? Where are we on that?
But we got some Fringe guests to talk about their show, Arden. We got Amy and Joshua. How you guys doing?
Great.
Great.
So tell us about the show.
Okay.
Right to business.
Well, we'll start with that.
I
Then
like
we
that,
gotta-
yeah, and then
My
we'll get
mom said, "What's it about?" I said, "It's about an hour long. It's a bunch of different Shakespeare stories and characters, kind of mixed up with some 80s and 90s hits. It's a lot of fun. It's a new story.
A lot of sparkle.
Yeah, a lot of sparkle. It's the
Okay.
gayest thing you'll probably see at Fringe, and that's
Really?
saying a lot.
And I like that.
That's impressive.
Hold on a second. If
Wait a minute.
I am a cross-dresser who travels the world, and it makes me a little homophobic. It's okay.
that is, I'm gonna.
Oh,
Have,
so
we're
you're
gonna
making
have
this
to go.
say is the gayest show at Fringe.
On Earth.
is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of sparkle.
All right.
Jazz hands, the whole 9 yards.
When you're going through here and you're selecting like different types of Shakespeare, or I get, yeah, I mean they're all different types. I mean, in layman terms, different, I guess, specific Shakespeare type of pieces. How do you zero in on the ones that you think would be good or are bad? Did you have to narrow it down because?
Yeah, so this is actually like the third generation of a show. It started off as You Like It, the musical, so the Shakespeare play
Right.
As You Like It. And our writer, Tyler Scott, basically was like, As You Like It's too limited, and he would keep writing in characters from Midsummer Night's Dream. He'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if it was As You Like It, but we added in Titania, and then it was
Right.
Oberon, and then before we knew it, like we were no longer there. We were in Arden more than we were in that
That's
one is
interesting because
set.
it's
Yeah.
almost like they're almost like all little cities, and you guys can
Yeah.
borrow characters from little.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like usually it's Elsinore for As You Like It, and then Arden, and then there's the magical forest of Midsummer. So that we kind of put them all together. So it's the lovers from As You Like It with the fairies from Midsummer Night's Dream and the witches from the Scottish play.
So you're just like borrowing the best parts and squishing them into an awesome
And
play.
all of the glitter that Amazon had available.
Okay, I like that.
Well,
I like that.
Josh, I wanted to ask you about that because I'm fascinated with how you learned like the art of makeup. Because
even larger
I'm
than
telling
that,
you because
the
I
art
imagine
Can we get
drag.
Tom and drag?
Well, no, but the
please?
art of drag to
Well,
me,
no,
I was
just-
sitting there thinking about it. Like, it seems extremely competitive and very difficult.
Well, the makeup part about it is like that's artistry. Also,
I'm
you
having
have
to
to
do
be like you learn all the techniques over time. How long does that take you?
Yeah.
Well, now I can get into drag in 15 minutes
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
have to. But
That's
when I
fast.
first started, it's like a 3-hour process because when you first start, it's a lot of trial and error. So you paint one side and then you paint the other and you look like you have Bell's palsy. So you have to wipe it off and start all over. But when I started doing drag, there was no YouTube. Like I couldn't go on there and look at the tutorials like, some of the kids can that are
Yeah.
starting right now. And
There are tutorials on how to look like you now.
I know, and that's frightening because I don't even want to look like me most days.
Yeah, and I want to say this correctly because Tom and I don't want to mess it up. Okay, Ginger Minge. When are you only Ginger? You see what how do I say that correctly?
I'm
my
always
favorite
Ginger.
Okay,
question. I love
so
this
if I
one.
were to call you Ginger now, that's not disrespectful in any way.
No, I actually prefer ginger because
Let's do
Okay.
that then.
All
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad memories connected with Joshua.
Interesting.
And even though that's a part of me, Ginger is the person that I have created for myself. So
Makes
I prefer
sense.
to be Ginger at all times.
I love
well, I'm
that.
glad you told me, because I did think in my head, I was like, well, don't say Ginger Minge because maybe that's inappropriate.
Stage show.
when
Yeah,
you're
we
not-
wanna do it right.
when
We're-
you're-
yeah.
No,
when
I
you're not-
understand.
that
Like,
character.
well, and like, you're not going to go to Tyler Perry and call him Medea.
Right.
I understand.
that.
I don't know. We might.
Haven't met Tom.
I screaming out at a basketball game. That's how
Yeah.
'cause I'm a dumb.
Yeah, if we were at the
Floridian.
Amway and you saw him, you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
scream. But that's a fact. You could bet on that.
I did the same
I
thing
stand
with
corrected.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Say it's Carlton.
I scream Carlton every single time. I cannot do it. And we'll watch America's Funniest Home Videos. Carlton.
So let's talk about Ginger. Ginger is you, but Ginger is also like global.
Yeah.
Is that weird for you? Is that
It is weird, but it's like a cool weird because like I was telling
It's
Amy this
100%
story.
weird. I'm just
Well,
going to
'cause
say that.
Amy has known me since
I mean, my
before
phone's blowing up that
Ginger.
you're in here. Like, I get blown up, like, for comedians. You know, we could have, like, John Lovett's in here, Craig Robinson. You know, like, you're talking top. He's on The Office, for Christ's sake.
Right.
My phone rings more for you. Obviously, we're local, but, like, more people are like, yeah, Ginger Minge is on the show. I'm like, yeah.
Plot twist, I am John Lovett.
It stinks.
Have you ever gotten like any sort of cameo requests or
On
thing like?
Cameo.
Are you on cameo?
yeah.
Okay.
I am on Cameo.
I knew. I was like, man, I bet there's something like a lot of people want to hear
yeah.
from.
I
you.
am on Cameo, and it keeps me like God bless it because this whole
Nice.
last year,
It works
it's
then.
what paid my bills.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Absolutely, you know, it was
Hit
it
up
was,
the Cameo, y'all.
Yeah.
It was
give Ginger
really-
some of y'all's money.
it was hard whenever the pandemic hit because, you know, drag queens, we're not in a union. We don't get the government assistance because we're independent contractors. Like, there was no way for me to continue to pay my bills and make money other than Cameo. And I was so grateful for once that it was there.
Yeah.
And like when I'm out on tour and I'm busy all the time, I look at it and go, oh my God, I have 15 cameos to do and I'm exhausted and I don't want to do them. But during the pandemic, it made me really appreciate that people are that connected that they still want to help and help you put food on the table.
Oh, of course, you know, and it's a cool. It's actually a decent thing. I mean, there's a lot of things you could pay for, but like normally it's something to cheer up your friend or birthday gift or something. I like it. You know,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Plus, again, it goes to the artist or whoever's on Cameo.
I don't know
Like,
what cut
obviously,
they take. We
they
tried to
take
get
a-
on there for our listeners, and they denied us. They said, you're not,
Well,
you're not famous
here's the real tea about that. So if they book it through the website, you're fine because the cut's small. But if they book it through the app, then you lose a lot of money.
No, really.
Really?
Yeah. So if you book mine, please book it through the website,
Okay,
not the
hey,
app.
no, that's good to know.
Or
All right.
contact you
Interesting.
directly and give all the. Because I'm sure you can send them a PayPal, like $200 on PayPal.
Yeah.
The PayPal takes their damn cut. But I'm curious with Cameo, like, did you feel pressure to only do it with your full makeup and everything on?
that's a good question.
Or could you do it?
I'm one of the few queens who will only do it when I'm fully done.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're paying for that product. You want that. It should be something that's special.
Yeah.
Not me rolling over in bed with my hair a mess.
Most
going-
celebrities do that.
Yeah,
You're
they
a
do.
Fat
They do.
Bam Margera like was hungover and he's at an airport. He's doing his cameo. I'm like, oh, this stinks. I wanted jackass Bam Margera.
I think those days are long gone.
Alcoholic graybeard Bam Margera sad.
It's getting sad. Yeah. No,
But I remember looking through like some of the other Drag Race girls. I was going through their cameos when I
Sure.
first started just to kind of get a gauge on what I needed to do. And there was one who literally rolled over in the darkness, just the light from her phone, completely out of drag, going, she literally said, girl, you woke me up from this nap, but I need this money before it expires, so happy birthday, bye. And I'm like, first of all, I would never charge what they were charging because that's insulting. And second of all, like, put a little fucking effort into, I can't say that.
you're fine.
Okay,
We can fix it.
Put some effort into it. Because like this is a special moment. Like it's an everyday run of the mill thing for you. You do this all the time, but this is like the one time that they get to do it.
God, that's a really now. Okay, then it all makes sense because then I look at your career and I look at the number of times you've been on Drag Race. I look at your music, unreleased album.
I have 2 unreleased albums.
One
that
of
are
them,
coming out
Tom,
this
and
year.
you're already editing Sam. I think it's called Clown Fucker.
Well, there's
awesome.
there's a song called Clown Fucker, but the album's name is Gummy Bear.
Either way, I'm down with both. I'm a hairbow boy, and I love to see clowns
I
get
am
it.
too. I love gummy bears.
All right.
It's like my thing.
Oh,
I
very
love
cool.
them. They're delicious.
I want to ask you about
Sorry,
because when we had Wanzi in here, he was telling us about like he's like there's a generation gap.
The transition of Orlando,
or just
a
how
little
like
bit.
how much harder he had it and all the stuff he went through, and he was like talking about like he's like the younger generation doesn't know what we went through to make this possible for them today, and they're like, I found it interesting because of course like things were so much different 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things have changed 5 years ago. Like although 5 years ago seemed worse. But anyway, so do you find is there some sort of difference with like younger people that like younger drag queens as compared to you, and you like had it so much harder than they did and they can't understand it, or like is there anything like that?
Well, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword because I went into season 7 of Drag Race with that mindset. Like, I was doing this before it was cool. I remember having to park in the ditch across the street from the bar and literally ditch people throwing rocks at me while I was running into the bar.
Right.
I remember that, and then working for 2 drink tickets and $25. But I also feel like it has its own set of issues now because now it's on such a mainstream global platform that you have to think that every time you open your mouth or you step outside the door or you turn that phone on, you are putting yourself in the position of being a mentor or a mouthpiece for all of these younger kids that are watching you. And that was something that really clicked in my head after season 7. I started touring. I still get these messages every day in my inbox from people like me, these little queer kids from podunk nowhere that are going, oh my gosh, I thought I was alone in the world. I had no clue that there was anybody like me, and then I saw you on TV.
And you're Lakeland, Lake County? Lake County.
I'm from Leesburg.
You're from Leesburg.
I'm from Leesburg.
Wow.
Actually,
oh my God,
actually,
Leesburg?
I'm not even from Leesburg. I claim Leesburg because it's the big city. I'm from Umatilla. They're probably my relatives. There's only 12 of us there.
I got family in Umatilla. We had an aunt or a great aunt that was in a nursing home.
You could hang
there.
out there 6 months ago, no mask.
Umatilla.
They've been open for.
They just got news the virus has hit.
Yes.
It just happened.
And they don't care.
My God, Umatilla. Who would have known? And it's such a good. That's also, a good drag queen name for me. Umatilla. I'm Umatilla Dennis. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I might have to roll with that. You look shocked.
Umatilla is the John Boat of Florida.
Yeah, it is.
It's the boogie board of Florida. I think you're being very generous over there. But no, I think that now there's just a lot more pressure to make everything that you do count. 15 years ago, we could show up to the club and just play whatever's on whatever you play. I'll show up in my little stretch dress and I'll do it. And now, every time you hit the stage, at least I feel there's got to be a message. There has to be a reason because you are, I know it sounds so stupid, but you are kind of ministering to the people who need something from you.
Yeah, I think it only sounds stupid if you don't want to help people. And a lot of people out there don't. So maybe they would agree, but I agree with you.
I just wish that I had help
helping.
when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I wish that I had
it.
that. So now I take that responsibility very seriously.
That's great. And you also, it's also cool that you're doing it in kind of a profession that you can still have fun. You can still be blue and crass and have your jokes and have a good time. But at the same time, you can still be inspiring and inclusive and sweet and just be good to people. I miss going before kids, man. I used to hit drag brunches all the time because the entertainment's always better and the food.
I remember you used to come to Bananas when I was working there years ago.
Well, Andrea had a really good buddy she worked at Old Navy with who was a drag queen. I'm blanking on her name. Very, very, very large drag queen. Beautiful, though. And the roller skates, I loved all of it. It was just so much fun. And then they would hit on me, and I loved it. I just said, why? Who doesn't like that? It's just fun.
I'm curious.
Well, I liked you because you were my height.
Yeah, we're little guys. Now, did you coin the term? I think I got this from your website because I wanted to steal this for myself with my wife. Glamour toad.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
No,
How good is that?
Pretty good.
Well, and it's because I've always felt glamorous and beautiful in drag, but I've never felt pretty. And
you are.
No, I'm not a pretty person. Like I'm just not, and I'm okay with that. And I think that there's power in saying you can still be beautiful even if you're not pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm a glamour toad.
It's awesome, dude.
So
It's so awesome.
This is perfect.
I'm a glamour toad too.
For my next. I'm gonna start calling you that for sure.
Hey, please.
But
it's an honor.
But I'm curious, and this kind of goes into my next question. Have you, because traditionally, and I'm not sure if this is 100% right because I don't know that much about like traditional drag shows, but I think that you guys like and drag shows in general like push the limit and go far, right?
Why do you think I go there?
Yeah,
because the humor is always head and shoulders.
I mean, from talking to Wanzi and stuff, like
it pushes the envelope, and I get bored at regular stuff.
So, I mean, you basically will just, say things that are not appropriate. Like, have you guys got pushback from a
like
culture
PC
that?
culture?
Yeah,
Oh
PC
my God,
culture.
of course, every
time.
single day.
Yeah. It's
Every
funny
day
because I
now.
bet you people that don't know, like, wouldn't think that you get any pushback because they're like, oh, that I'm lumping that all in together because I'm ignorant and I don't know. You know, this happens. Like,
No, but-
believe me, I'm ignorant too. Like, oh, drag queen would never get like pushback from PC culture because they're all together or something. You know, like that's how people would think.
Well, and that's how it was for a lot of years. And that's kind of how I grew up in drag. And RuPaul has always said, and I truly believe it's true, every time she bats her eyelashes, it's a political statement. And I have always felt like drag queens have always kind of been at the forefront of every big change in the community. You know, they're the first ones out there in the front lines fighting and raising money and helping. And the way to kind of do that is to open up the conversation. And what better way to open up the conversation than with humor, than by poking fun at it so that people go, ha ha ha, oh wait, maybe that is serious. And that's kind of how I grew up in drag. But now there's been a culture shift within the last few years where they're holding drag queens to a much higher standard, and they want us to all be completely politically correct. And while I do think that that's great, there's some things that, maybe we took too far and we should change. I also don't want it to get to the point where we're not opening those conversations and we're not shedding light on these subjects in a fun way that makes people go, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of like your intent is to have an open conversation and say shocking things and things for comedy purposes, or like
if you can get it to that point, then maybe you can have a serious conversation about it. If you can have a funny one about it, then maybe after the funny one you can have
exactly
a
like ha ha ha. Okay, now let's talk about that.
Yeah, now that we've already had it touch our lips, I get it. Let's real quick. I just want to give you a plug one more time. Arden, Silver Venue. These are what you need to know. I'll give it real quick. Buy your button. Arden's the show you want to see. In fact, I think Sam's orchestrating something in the chat room. Are you guys buying block of tickets?
We're
or
looking
something?
to get a block for one of the dates.
Hey, buy them up because
You
they'll go
should.
fast. $12. It's $12 at the Silver Venue. It starts on the 19th. And okay, here's my.
And it's one of the best things I've ever done. And I.
Whoa.
And I do not give praise highly for anything, especially if I'm in it.
Best
but
and
it is,
gayest, guys.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
It is so fantastic. The set's great. The costumes are great. And these kids that are in this show with
my
us
gosh.
are so insanely talented. I came in kind of after they were working on all of their stuff. And I just sat down like, okay, let's see what I'm in for over the next 2 months. And they did one of their numbers, and my jaw was on the floor. I was
That's
like,
great.
oh, shit. Okay, I need to step it up now.
Yeah.
Now I really need to learn my lines. I really need to learn this choreography.
You're almost there.
Almost.
Now, why? Let's throw this out there because I know, Sam, you probably have a ton of questions, and I don't want to kill their entire day. How big did you playing Ursula live action Little Mermaid? How big did that get? That got big, right?
It got a lot bigger than most people realize. Like
Can you tell us how big it got?
Yeah, because it's not a thing anymore. So
It should because
it should have been, and it almost was. I actually made it very far in the process.
So live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Ginger perform.
We were watching in the
Yeah.
office.
I mean, is there another
Unbelievable.
Ursula?
No one
There's
does it
not.
better.
I don't think there is. I think you are like
well, and
that.
if you ever wanted to see me as Ursula, come see me as Titania. Titania because my Titania and Arden is
You see?
is
Ursula.
it's
Okay,
Ursula.
all right.
Yeah.
Grab me a
Purple,
couple
white
tickets,
hair,
Sam.
all of it.
You in?
Yeah, man. I'm 100% in. I'm good for like get a good buzz and watch some good entertainment, man. We're open, baby.
Yeah.
But it got very far, and it really kind of came down to the fact that the markets outside of the U.S. had a problem with the drag aspect of it. They didn't really want to get behind that. So they ended up giving it to Melissa McCarthy instead, which is fine because I love her.
Yeah.
And I know that I will end up playing Ursula at some point in my life. It's just destined to be.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious, has there been any social media platform that you've stuck to more than another? Because it's like, because each of them now, as time goes on,
Different
now
flavors
have
now.
their,
Yeah.
their like social meaning and their generational the audience
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
may may have just nailed it. It's
You know.
like each one is a different generation digging their heels in.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
Facebook is the well, I
We've
guess.
been trying to
oldest-
teach Ginger how to do Snapchat. It's not going well.
Well,
It's not going well.
Well, I
Now-
was
now it's
promised
TikTok.
nudes, and I'm not getting any. So. Mine is my Twitter is kind of my social media drug of choice.
Okay.
Because I like to talk to people. I like to communicate. To me, like that's what social media should be about. Particularly during this pandemic over this last year, it was the one way I could really kind of keep in contact with the fans that have become friends. You would think Instagram would be good for me, but I'm just not a visual person. I know it sounds so silly because I'm a cross-dresser, but it's just not interesting to me.
Sure.
Like,
The
I don't know.
communication
Yeah, you have to be
aspect,
into
yeah,
it, like-
I do it because I need to do it career-wise, and I have fun with the pictures that I take, but there's really no communication there.
Yeah, we do it. We've been kind of dabbling in TikTok, a little bit, but I can't really.
I did. My husband started a TikTok for me.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even know I had one for like the first month, and he was like, "Oh, you got verified today." I said, "On what?" He said, "TikTok." I didn't even know it
I
started
think I
one.
linked to you. You
But
can thank your
it's-
husband for it. Yeah, say, hey, thank you so
He
much.
literally just follows me around, and like when I do stupid shit, he just films it and puts it on TikTok.
Wait a minute.
And he's
that's
like,
what
"Hey, you're
Yeah.
at 200,000 views." He's like, "For what?"
My God, that's what Andrea does for me. I am a glamour toad.
You are.
This is awesome.
I'm your new drag mother.
You really are.
Excuse my ignorance because I just don't know, but I'm curious and I want to know. Like in the drag world, do other people imitate the like Ginger Minge as far as like they take the persona like or is that frowned upon or like you know what I'm saying? Do they imitate you and then call
No,
themselves?
that's kind of a good question because I don't know how that works either. Because I bet you there could be some stepping on toes there if things are too similar or too close. Or
There's a lot of people who will take the last name and then start to claim, "Oh, yes, I'm Ginger Minge's daughter" and stuff. But there's no other Ginger Minge.
do you know what?
out
Do you know what Minge is?
No, I don't.
It is the Mongolian word for beaver.
Is it? All right, I like
there. Ginger
that.
Minge means fire crotch.
Oh God! Yeah.
It all, yeah.
I just was curious if that was like it's like in the stand-up world was the equivalent of like stealing someone's like a joke or something like
Now,
what I'm saying?
people
Like-
will steal my material all the time, and not just mine. I mean, there are up-and-coming queens who see stuff on YouTube, or they come to the shows and they see it, and they go, "Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. I know I can do that." And they kind of borrow the material, or they borrow the look, or the outfit, or the wig, or whatever, until they kind of come into their own.
Gotcha.
I mean, and that's really kind of what drag is about. It's just self-expression. I've never called myself a makeup artist. I'm an artist who uses makeup.
All right.
And that's simply because it's the best expression of what I feel like inside is who Ginger is. And if I have to use hair and costumes and makeup for that, then so be it. I mean,
So the stage you're doing Arden, and you say it's one of the greatest things you've ever done. Any more drag race stuff, or is that you
who knows?
Because you did digital, right? You did a couple of those. And
Yes, I do have another digital drag fest show coming up. Oh gosh, next month sometime. I think, I don't know, maybe it's the end of this month.
Yeah.
But it's our tribute to Disney, so it's like a big twisted Disney show. It's a lot of fun, good green
Sam, you
screen
might
work
wanna
there.
watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a podcast that's coming out soon with
Cool.
Trinity the Tuck from
Awesome.
Drag Race as
awesome.
well.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's just so much going on. Like I do the Golden Gals live here with our TV Land Live group. So we just did 2 sold-out shows of that over in Claremont.
Yeah, I've been hearing really good stuff about that.
It's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love the Golden Girls and who doesn't love drag queens? You put them together and it's a great night.
That's a good idea.
And getting to play like older women should be like really fun, I think.
Yeah.
You know? Can you get away with more?
Well, I just love when people say,
"Are you Sophia?"
Oh no, I'm Blanche.
You're Blanche.
I'm Blanche.
Yeah. You like
Well, and people are always like, so like, do you watch the show a lot and try to like mimic Rue McClanahan? I was like, no, I'm just playing my mother. Down to the haircut. Amy has been to my house many times over the last 15 years. She knows my mother very well. She can attest to the fact.
That's super cool.
Well, Ginger Minge, Amy Bates, thanks so much for coming in. The show's Arden. It starts Wednesday, May 19th.
I don't know what day we're going, but we're going out there. So
Silver venue. Just get your full pass. Get the bracelet.
I probably should have told you
No, please.
Just like a little bit of trivia. I started drag at the Orlando International Theater Fringe Festival.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
15 years ago. Yeah. That's where I started. So it's full circle for me.
It only took you 15 years to be globally famous. Oh man, we're bad.
What are you guys doing?
We're so not talented. My God.
We're not even famous in utility. And that's our core audience.
And I'm a toad.
Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Again, OrlandoFringe.org. Just get your tickets and get your passes. The easiest thing to do.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. Check out our YouTube channel. You can like and subscribe it. Just go there, search Tom and Dan Live. I'll be putting up a replay of today's show, and you're certainly not going to want to miss that. In case you just got the audio version, you would get to see some of our great some of our great Fringe performers, like the mega famous drag queen Ginger Minge.
Let's hit it. We got limited time.
Let's hit it.
Whoa.
Because I got
This
so
is the
many
best part of the
buttons.
segment.
Jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
Yeah, there's such a correlation between how good the intro is and how the content is.
Oh, he heard that one. He heard that one. I forget you listen
and
to
Tom,
our show.
where's my $50?
Hold on.
God,
Okay.
This sounds a lot like "Where's my $3?"
So-
Better off dead.
I put it up on
great
the
movie.
BDM Geeks and Nerds whatever it's called. But
All right.
I put it up on there and I asked the question. I'm like, did any Jedi or have any Jedi use? I screwed it up because I should have said use the Force.
You
but
said Jedi mind trick.
no. I said
On
use the
show-
Force.
On the show you said that, but on the Facebook you changed it to the Force.
Yeah, that was my bad because I don't know all of the nerd terminology.
Well, what's the difference between the Force and the mind trick? I think isn't the mind trick the Force?
It is a part of the Force, yes. But the objective was to find out if they use the mind trick on droids, which I thought I saw on a movie. And now I do contend that someone brought up a good point that
somebody
Anakin
peeked around the corner.
No, some super nerd told, like I was reading it, and they're like, well, Anakin has the ability to use his Force to rewire the droid's circuits in his head, therefore
He can
changing
scramble his circuits.
therefore changing the droid's
From a
like
bad
protocol
droid to a good droid.
or whatever, like making him do his bidding because he rewired it using the Force. So technically, that's kind of like a mind trick on a droid. But
it's not an
it's a
actual mind
stretch.
trick. It's using the Force to change circuitry. So it's more telekinesis than it is the mind trick.
What's more of a mind trick? Convincing somebody using the Force to do something or rewiring an entire droid's head?
So I owe you $50.
Put it in Doge and we'll open it up and
God.
come back 5 years.
That's actually not a bad idea. Buy it in Doge and give it to him and see where it goes. See where the Doge goes.
Double or nothing.
Oh.
On what?
No.
It's a sporting event.
He said no.
Double or nothing on a
Just
sporting
put it in
event. You have a problem now. That's what compulsive gamblers do, right? Instead of caring about the content of the show or anything, he goes, "What? Double or nothing on any sporting event. You choose. I gotta ride the lightning. I'm sweating. You're going to be like those guys that they talk about in the booklets who are like, there's 2 raindrops going down that window. Let's bet on them. Which one's faster? I got the right window. I got the right raindrop.
Do you want to bet if Tim Tebow ever catches a pass in the NFL?
He will.
Yeah, I don't like that bet.
No, that's a bad bet. He
well,
will.
you could bet. I'll bet
one pass.
Yeah,
he'll catch one pass.
I don't even think he makes it.
And just the season or his entire rest of his NFL career?
Does preseason count or
no? Preseason doesn't count.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a actual game because I've seen a lot of people come out of the woodwork, former NFL tight ends and other people hating the fact that they signed Tim Tebow.
What does Tony?
Oh, he can't even block for sure. He's not a blocking tight end.
What does Tony Gonzalez think? Because he's the only tight end in my eyes.
Everybody's talking like some other former Patriots tight end was talking about Tim Tebow will be garbage at that position. They're like he hasn't played it long enough to understand how to play this position. It's a total joke. They were mad that other players didn't have the the opportunity to get that roster spot that's better than him. Like I don't know if you saw that too, but there's a lot of former players mad.
So much hate. Yeah,
and that's why I made the tweet that he's the Drunky the Bear of the Jaguars, because this is all just a publicity stunt.
Has there ever been a player that, I mean, like, not to... Okay, are these players... How much of what they're saying is hate? Is just like, I want to see this guy... Because there's got to be a little percentage of that, right?
A little bit, maybe, but I don't think a lot. I think it's they're going by logic, saying that he hasn't been in the league. All the basics that.
How long has it been? About. Like 10 years?
6, isn't it?
Yeah, and then also
round up.
I just finished the whole Michael Jordan documentary. And
Last Dance.
Hey, way to strike when the iron's hot. Yeah,
it was long.
Great. I just started The Sopranos.
I watched the Saturday Night Live sketch of it. That was even just as good.
Yeah, the sketch was funny.
It was pretty funny.
It's the only sketch from this week.
That was the only good one.
No, the Muppets.
No,
the Muppets was good too.
The best sketch that I have.
Old Peel comes off as a D-head.
The greatest sketch I have ever seen in the history of Saturday Night Live, and it's the only one I ever need to see until the day I die, is Elon Musk being Wario. And I'll just keep watching it because it's the absolute.
By the way, you did the racist thing that they made the joke about in the monologue. It's not Peel.
Oh,
it was
Key.
Key. Why is that racist?
Because they're like, it's the other black guy.
They both look the same.
Wow.
I'm making a joke. Oh, sensitive babies.
Hold on a second. I don't think it's racist because I get called Tom all the time. That's not racist.
Yeah, take that.
No, it's not. It's just
like people look alike.
Yeah, it's just like I get called Tom more than I get called Dan. Because I do a lot of stuff around here, and they say, well, the first name must be the guy in charge, and it's not true.
That is racist, because I look totally different than you. 4 foot taller.
I'm a glamour toad. I'm a glamour toad.
Sorry. All right.
You're 9 feet tall now.
There's barely any time, EJ. What do you got?
Okay, should we do nerd or jock?
Nerd.
Let's go nerd. Okay, WWE has lost its damn mind. Have you seen that they did zombies during their pay-per-view?
No.
And how the wrestlers are mad about this? Chris Jericho's furious.
They've done a bunch of weird stuff, and they've had the action figures, the WWE zombie action figures. They've had that for a minute, right? But WWE, they're trying different things.
Yeah.
They don't want to go like full on like the Attitude Era where it was like boobs and violence. But I kind of feel like they should do that. They have a character that actually, a guy that lives near me, a wrestler. His name is Apollo Crews, where his whole gimmick is he's like taking back his Nigerian heritage. So they have him speaking in like a traditional, like fake-ish Nigerian accent. You know, I don't really know his nationalities. I don't want to speak on if it's truly fake or not, but it just doesn't sound good, and it's very contrived and odd. And like they have a bunch of gimmicks that are kind of floating out right now that are very weird, I would say. Is
there a chance that what we've talked about, how there's no escaping becoming a dumb old man, it's coming for everybody, is Vince McMahon becoming a dumb old man?
He's there.
He's already there. He's been there, I think, 10 years ago.
Yeah, he's been there.
I feel like zombies are a different level of dumb old man, where now you're just making a mockery of everything. Like I feel like the world had come to grips and like appreciated wrestling for what it is, and everybody's like, all right, now you're making more ridiculous with zombies. It's like, yeah.
Well, it's to promote David Bautista's new movie that was actually the sponsor of the match. So it's like, it makes sense.
It's on brand. You know, like I'm not sure I can those guys do something?
I mean,
that
WWE is the ultimate gimmicks show. Why does this not fit? I don't understand.
Because I feel like all the wrestlers, and Dan, you can tell, like, I'm not a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I love wrestling. Like, I have no bones about it. I love it.
I feel like all the wrestlers, like, they obviously, take themselves seriously, and they should.
They take their craft seriously.
They're professional athletes, and they're good. And they're actors, and they're actor athletes. But I feel like they have all like, all right, we're athletes, we're playing a part, we're playing this character, and that had like a higher bar, and then by adding zombies, you kind of like clowned everybody, because now obviously these zombies like Halloween, like I don't know what I didn't see it, but it's like,
and they were able to punch him and kick him, and they would like act like the
I kind of like it.
Would hurt them.
I feel like if you're Roman Reigns or whatever, you're like, man, I've spent my whole career acting. I know, but I feel like they look at it like
look,
bad.
There's a lot of stuff that I think in its pure origin state is for children, but adults can be brought along. And I kind of feel like video games are sort of like that, right? I mean, I think that they're made for primarily younger people. Yeah, that's what I mean by kids, okay? So you can overanalyze this all day long, but I'm just saying they're made for younger people. And it just so happens that if you really like them, you can carry on your love for video games for a very long time, because they have a lot of adult titles, right? Wrestling is made for kids. And I think this zombie thing is kind of fun for kids, and there's a lot of money at stake, and they cash it in for that big fat Batista check, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the movie, they got
Netflix money.
Yeah, they got that huge amount of money. So I rather than I get mad at wrestling fans for complaining, because they forget that in 2 weeks, none of this will be, all be forgotten, and there'll be all new things going on.
Because the Miz got eaten by the zombies. So how is he going to come back? Is he going to come back as a zombie character?
Well, it doesn't matter. He could walk out tomorrow and they could it was fake. It's wrestling. It's fake.
I like this because it made a bunch of old nerds mad.
Right.
That's
what happened. That's what happened. Because if your son saw it right now, and they're not into wrestling, but I guaranteed if Uncle Danny Denny was here, I'd hand them 2 Diet Pepsis, because that's what I do with children. I hand them copious amounts of caffeine, sit them down in front of some trash television. I think they would have liked it. It's the muscle guys beating up the zombies. That's fun for kids.
It is fun for kids, but the older nerds that took it a little more seriously than they should
have hitched your wagon to the wrestling one, you nerds.
I like to bully those nerds. Put the goofy zombies, and they have to pretend like they're dying. They're like, oh, get them.
Okay, then here's a good transition to the next story. Okay, Target and Walmart are no longer to sell Pokemon cards, because there's been violence at their stores because of it. Like, there's been a stabbing, and I think someone pulled a gun on someone at one of the stores, so they're no longer going to sell them at these stores.
Yeah, but there's probably been more people that have been like, guys in there that are buying Miller Lite beating their wife. So you're going to stop selling Miller Lite?
What is it? Is it because they're rare? People are trying to grab them and like.
Yeah, the markup is like crazy. Like, I think they're like $35 for a box of a bunch of packs, and they're going for like 90 to like $120 if you resell them.
Does this have something to do with like the popularity of like sports cards, and all cards have like gone up in some way?
All collectibles have gone up during the pandemic. Yeah, I think the card that's really going well is I think it's called Shining Fates. I'm not really into the card game. I'm more into the mobile app. So
one time my parents took me to Costco, and they went to look at like tires or meat, and I went down the sports card aisle, and I got apprehended by a loss prevention man, who then took me upstairs to his loss prevention office to search me because he thought I was stealing football cards. And then my mom and dad bust in because I think my dad thought that guy was trying to get fresh with me. And he went crazy. My dad
Yeah, you
went.
can't
I'd lose my
just frisk a
mind, too.
child.
No, they
So-
didn't
Yeah.
touch me. They were about to touch me.
This is more about
Jeez Louise.
the public realize there's something super valuable for sale for cheap, and they're gonna go get it. These people probably aren't necessarily huge Pokemon fans. They're fans of money, and
Yeah,
they want to
they're
go.
scalpers. Yeah.
They want to go get the cards to resell them because they realize like Walmart's selling them for $5 and you can resell them for 90. Bring your gun, right? That's what it is. It's not like a bunch of nerds that love Pokemon.
No, the
pulling
nerds
their
are
gun.
not killing you. No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is trash people.
Everybody knows if nerds want to kill you, they'll kill you at school.
Oh,
which is
Say it. You know you gotta say it.
No,
What?
no,
What?
we're not saying it. Next story.
These nerds are killing us.
No. It had already been said. You ruined my joke.
I'm sorry. Okay, the last thing I have, I guess, let's talk about Snake Eyes the movie, or Snake Eyes Origins. I sent you a trailer for it.
Oh, darn it.
It looks pretty amazing. Like, if you don't have it, that's fine because
Yeah, I don't-
our time is cut short, so
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
worry about it.
Snake-
but
so
it looks
This
really
is
good.
Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe?
Yes.
I'm
They're
a
doing
fan.
it like you know they did X-Men Origins with Wolverine and they did his own independent movie. This is like Snake Eyes movie of that.
I'm a fan because he is deaf, right?
Yeah.
Snake Eyes is deaf, and it's actually like,
or is he just mute?
I
Or he just didn't talk.
is he?
I
Oh,
thought.
maybe he's just mute. Yeah, maybe he's just mute.
Yeah.
But I knew he had like a disability, which I always thought was really neat. And he was definitely the whole storyline between Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes being brothers, and the good and the bad, but the bad one wears white and the good one wears black. Oh, it's so
Black.
good.
so
It's
is he
so
not
good.
going to talk in the movie?
I don't think he talks, does
I
he?
think he talks at the beginning, and then I think midway through is when it becomes mute. I think it's like something happens to him, like his vocal cords get cut.
I
or something
honestly
like that.
do not know Snake Eyes' origin story, so I would actually be into this because G.I. Joe was my number one toy as a young boy. I loved my action figures.
Will they ever bring back the character, my favorite G.I. Joe character?
Snow Job.
Yeah, we were just talking about me and Butler were just talking about
Snow Job talks like this.
I think isn't he like New Zealand?
Yeah, something.
He's like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like from New Zealand.
Yeah, but there's like
What are you doing out here, you wankers?
grown adults got together and named a child's toy Snow Job. I just want to remind
But I
everybody
don't
that.
know if it had the same meaning then.
Yeah, of course it did.
No, I think it always had a double meaning. Sam, you
Well-
might have to look this up. I don't think that a snow job meant your wife was putting
No. I don't mean that, but I mean just the name
It
is
rhymes,
so close
yeah.
that it's like they had to have known that like it's
He just went past the censors for sure.
Yeah, it's like draw
Well,
the
then-
D in
then
the
don't
Little
get me
Mermaid.
started on General Gussie.
Um,
There's no character, General Gussie.
all
The
right.
phrase originated during World War II. It is a play on the idiom "snowed under," which means to be covered.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's like undercover.
yeah, it's harmless, but
No, I know,
Oh.
but they must have realized as adults that by calling it Snow Job is pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, I never thought of that because I was so much a fan of GI Joe that
I didn't as a kid, but
no,
now
I mean like even into adulthood, I never would like if somebody said like, "Oh, you found your old Snow Job action figure," I would not connect that, and I'm a pervert. So it's weird that I
that
have.
is.
There is a
how?
Urban Dictionary version of snow.
I know what.
What's
Yeah,
a
I know what it is.
snow job?
Yeah, I
How
know
do you
what
know-
it is.
Hey, everybody like if
It involves a homeless man and a mouthful of snow.
this guy's name is Snow Job, and you're like, oh, of course. Like, how you not draw the parallel?
I wouldn't. I'm honestly telling you that I would not, and I think that
You heard Snow Job, and it wouldn't. You'd be like,
I would-
nope.
I'd be-
He loves snow and jobs.
No, but I never connected it. Like I never like to me it was it didn't link up.
All right.
And I don't know why. Maybe my love for G.I. Joe, blinded me to it. What else you got?
Well,
Wait, let me just.
Okay.
Snake Eyes, during one of his first missions for G.I. Joe, his face was severely disfigured in a helicopter explosion. Since then, Snake Eyes has had extensive plastic surgery to repair the damage, but his vocal cords cannot be repaired. So it was a helicopter accident.
Dude,
That's why he
it's
can't.
a dark story, man. It's a dark
chop
story.
his neck. How to get
Like
his
that
vocal
model.
Got him good.
Like that supermodel that got in that helicopter accident. She walked into the back rotors.
No, yeah,
It was bad.
I don't think we
Okay,
have time for sports.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I can
Sorry.
talk about the OSU Ohio State masseuse that had sex with 5 players.
I saw that, and I feel
That is a crazy story.
I want to know what's on your back wall. Is that a booger? Why do you have a booger on your back wall?
I don't know what that is. No, it's a hole.
Oh,
It's like a hole.
That for sure.
somebody's spying on you to make sure you're doing work.
Probably.
That is.
Since we're finishing up, I got to do my plug. MyCon is going to go biannually. We're going to try it. They're going to try it out. So they're going to try to do it in August 28th of this year. So they're going to try to do it another one this year. So if you want to get tickets, it's mystic-con.com.
Oh.
God,
Mystic dog.
That's when they
mystic-con.com.
This reminds me of when Fartagram started charging for fart tokens.
This is when Beer Fest, like, we'll do a Beer Fest every weekend.
My God, your con.
This thing makes money. Let's do it every day. All right, EJ, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, put my $50 in Doge.
All right.
Okay.
right.
Okay, get out of here.
Double or nothing something. I'll win it back.
I'll doge you.
I'll win it back. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. And check out our Twitch channel. A lot of people watching us live, they watch the replays there too. You can also watch the replays on YouTube, but our Twitch channel is easy to find. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Just anything, for most everything social, we're Tom and Dan Live. But you can go there and watch this show. In fact, we're live right now, and we got a bunch of people in there chatting with us and saying hi and whatnot. You can donate to the show via Twitch. Twitch is really, really cool. Tons of great content on there if you've never checked it out.
And if you want to listen to audio only, you could do that as well. A lot of people don't know that. They think like I can't watch because I'm driving or whatever. You can listen to audio only on Twitch. So if you get the app or whatever, you click on audio only and then just hear.
Yeah, my wife will actually do that when she's driving. She'll listen audio only while we're live. Oh, she's here. My wife's outside using her. Yeah, I have her blow off the front of the studio while she's passing through. You know, she's got to earn her keep. Let's do some voicemails. Let's go with. No, we did that one. Let's go with this one.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trev. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I did have a question for Tom. Tom, was it you that was selected as a contestant for Jeopardy, or was it me? Because I'm pretty sure it was me, so I would know a lot more about the inner workings of Jeopardy than you would.
Snarky.
You say that Aaron Rodgers would need time to rehearse and practice and read the questions. They actually don't. According to the standards and practices and the laws set by the government, hosts for game shows like that can't know the questions ahead of time. Only the producers do. So the host merely reads it as it is. So Alex Trebek only gets the questions immediately before each taping. They record about 5 to 6 episodes a day for weeks straight. So all Alex Trebek did was work maybe 1 to 2 months out of the year for actual Jeopardy. And you got to remember too, there isn't a new Jeopardy every single day. Much like a TV show, they have seasons as well. So they share show reruns over the summer.
You want me to keep going?
Okay.
Because he's probably we'll finish it out.
No. I know what he's
okay. If you know.
I see what he's saying.
He's mad at you.
I'm still, my point is that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play the position of quarterback in the NFL and do Jeopardy hosting part-time. It's just, he's not at this level. They're not going to do that. When you're an NFL quarterback, you work every single day at that craft, and you definitely don't take months off of like training and working at that craft to do something else at that level. That's all I'm saying.
Well, everybody in the chat room, including Kenny, disagrees with you, so.
Well, I'll bet on it.
Well, I mean, it would have to happen, and I don't necessarily think that's going to happen.
I'll take bets right now that Aaron Rodgers does not end up splitting his time as host of Jeopardy and NFL quarterback. I will put money where my mouth is.
No. I didn't know where you are.
I forgot the saying. I was like, I'll put the money
in the shoe.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Also, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is good enough to read the questions right as they're presented to him and get it right in enough and be efficient enough. I don't know. Maybe it could be a real smart guy, but man, are you going to be able to, without ever rehearsing or seeing the questions, just read them perfectly in the right inflection? And you know what I'm saying?
If that's true, what Kenny's saying, and I believe him.
That's a skill.
I would not want that job. I don't want to walk into a room and have Sam hand me a giant stack of questions that I just have to sight read perfectly on TV. The answer to that is no. And Alex Trebek is a special person. Is he dead now? He's dead, right?
Yes.
Well, I miss him, and I
Yeah.
wish him well. And
Well, he probably got good at it after a certain amount of time.
I
But
will give him the traditional Viking greeting of Onward Valhalla.
I'm just saying, you get Aaron Rodgers and you put him on the set, and I'm like, all right, we're recording, 7 episodes today, right? You got to read,
I'd kill myself.
150 questions.
Too hard.
Right? Like, never look at them like, here we
No.
go, and pronounce all the words right. Now I understand, like, they could cut and go back to it. I just feel like they're giving them a little rehearsing time right before something like the game show
I don't even
rules.
want to do that. Don't give me the stack and give me 1 hour to read through them. I'm just gonna be nervous the whole time. I don't want that job.
Yeah,
Good
because
day.
if it's like a name or something, you can't mispronounce it.
Yeah,
on
you need
national
to.
TV.
They probably like the producers probably give it to you phonetically,
Maybe, yeah.
like something like that. So there's that. But I still think that they're gonna give the guy a little, especially if for a guest host. Alex Trebek, the guy was a damn pro. So
why
he
can't
could-
we do what they do on the Jeopardy video game? Forego the host altogether.
Yeah.
3 people in a row, and then you use really, really proper and exquisite voice talent that almost sounds like a Siri or
Right.
an Alexa to read
Yeah,
the
you don't need a
question.
host.
I don't think you need the host, and you let it die with the guy who did it the best. No one will be better than Alex Trebek, so you just pivot and you just change it a little bit. When you play online, it's just as good, and I play with other people. It's just the
Yeah.
host happens to be this voice in the sky.
You could. I mean, Greg Jennings could do it, right? He's fine. A bunch of other people.
Oh, that's a
do
good
that.
idea. Norm, in our Twitch chat room, get Watson to do it, and they use Watson.
Deshaun Watson? He's got a problem with it.
Sean Watson, the news trader.
No,
I like
Deshaun
massages.
the computer, the supercomputer.
Yeah, the supercomputer, because they already have a tie in there, and they use Watson, and they,
Yeah, yeah.
that would be,
You're right.
do that, and then that way you don't have to compare them to anything, and it's a computer, and we roll on.
Then you could do it forever, really. You never have to worry. Like, imagine the money that you'd save, too. And you don't even have to
Yeah.
use the actual
It's cool.
supercomputer.
It's kinda cool.
You just use a voice, a
Yeah.
better
Hi.
voice.
Hello
to
there,
read.
I'm Watson.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do that. I wonder if there's, like, some sort of, copyright, or you couldn't say you were Watson, the supercomputer.
Let's just change your name. To,
Well, it's not as good if you're something
you
else.
you just get like another name that sounds smart, like
Yeah.
I'm Einstein. There you go.
Yeah. Not a
You don't want to be like, I'm Billy. Like you don't like who. I mean, I guess you could get different famous people to record their voices, just like they tried to do with Waze. Remember when you could like go to Qdoba and have Mr. T guide you all the way there?
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, make it right, fool.
there are gaming rules and regulation, but who's actually enforcing them? Because I remember even with our bingo, like Tony looked up, like, we can't give out cash because it's against the bingo regulations of
that's
Florida.
'cause Tony's always worried that this thing like.
And I'm like,
gonna
bingo
come-
regulation of Florida. I don't give
Yeah.
a damn.
Well,
I'm like,
Tony's got
I-
it tattooed on his calf.
who's gonna some bingo officer? Like, no one cares. I can give out cash. No one. I'm saying no one cares.
What if this is a great idea again from the Twitch chat room? This is from Tactical Hat. He says, there's probably enough audio of Trebek that Watson could learn to speak the same. That's
Yeah.
true. You could do that with Joe Rogan. He's recorded enough shows where there are people now that can grab
deep
his
fakes,
shows
yeah.
and deep fake him saying pretty much anything you want him to say.
I think that's an insult to Trebek, though. Like,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like they can make holograms
Hologram,
and stuff,
yeah.
but I think a lot of people push back on that, and like they don't like it. Like they started to do it with Tupac and some other celebrities, and then I think they got too much pushback.
Are there any celebrities it would be okay with?
Mid-level.
Mid-level.
Jackson.
You got to go like mid-level, right?
Yeah, you're right. Michael Jackson's fine because
Is it?
no one cares about
How about
disrespecting
a
him.
hologram
Really.
Dustin Diamond?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
I
Nobody
know.
wanted real Dustin.
That's mean.
Come on.
How dare
Like,
you?
I-
How
too
dare
soon?
you? He was America's lovable nerd.
Besides from stabbing someone and some other
Faking a porno.
but that wasn't even that bad. That was just a trolling
Yeah.
move. The stabbing, I don't know, but I think they were effing with him at a bar or something.
Yeah, and all he had was a
Wasn't it like
pocket knife.
Christmas Day?
he
It
did
was
his time.
sad
He
story.
did his time.
Yeah, he's
and then
fine.
man, he did the ultimate time.
Yeah, he did.
And that was bad luck.
And then what did he get? He got the cancer, right?
Oh
Yep,
yeah. I mean the one that
Stage
2
4
weeks.
immediate.
Yeah.
Waited too long to go check it out.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
the world's a stage.
Yeah. I think even if they caught that a little sooner, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference.
I don't
He
want
had-
you. You know what? If
He
you
had the aggressive one.
if catching it sooner doesn't matter, then don't catch it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
You don't want to live the last months of your life knowing you're going to die. Like, you want to find out 2 weeks later, done, right?
Did all the cast call him, you think? Do you get a phone call and you're like, excuse me, Dustin?
No, I don't think
No, because I think
Dennis Haskins is on this. It's Mr. Belding.
weren't they like not going to let him do the reboot?
Yeah,
I think there was
no.
bad blood there.
I'd listened, and apparently they had talked, and they had actually thought about that he wasn't going to be in the original reboot, but they were going to do something with him. I think in season.
Oh, they just said that after he
After he
died.
got cancer,
Yeah, they do. I don't think they liked him, and I don't think he liked them. But also, they made some BS social media posts. They're like, you know what I'm saying? Who knows of their actual relationship, but I don't think it was good.
So no phone call, like Zach Morris, and he said hello. None of that.
No. Also, I could imagine it's like, man, if you find out it's the end, it's kind of like, well, you didn't call me all this other time, and now you're calling me like I got 2 weeks, to say what?
What would you do if you found out that for me?
What?
Because you hate awkward. Would you call me? Would you get Butler to bring me a cookie cake or something?
I just don't say anything. I don't say anything.
I don't think he would.
I'm like, there, he was right.
Yeah.
He was right the whole time. I feel bad about that, and I would say, like, man, he said he was gonna die all this time, and I didn't believe him.
He's not a small talker, so even on the deathbed, I'm
No.
like, well, I'll see you in another.
I don't know.
You think he's gonna go see you on your deathbed?
No, absolutely. You know what? I've texted him probably 17 times, no responses. But I'm gonna keep doing it because it's me. It's an authentic me. I'm gonna keep texting this guy until he either comes in and says, "Look, I'm gonna level with you. I don't like you. I don't like you, and I'm saying it now because Crystal said I'm a pussy. I don't like you, and you know how hard it is for me to say this, so stop texting me."
I don't return people's texts. I'm bad about that. Especially if it's not a question. If it's
I never send. But I'm going to start doing statements and then put a question mark at the end, just so I get a response.
Well, it's got to be a business.
I'm going to be like, I hope you're having a great Sunday.
That's
what I'm going to start doing.
Well, I got that text.
That's what I'm going to start doing.
But then I got it too late, so then I felt like if I was going to text you back at the middle of the night, that it would be like, I was just like, I'll just tell him tomorrow. Right? It's weird that I, like, after 8 hours, I've been like, oh, thanks for wishing me a good Sunday. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say?
We're crazy people.
I
really
of course
worry.
I'm having a good Sunday.
I worry for Sam and Butler. I really do.
What are you worried about them for?
Well,
they're fine.
We're crazy, though.
They're fine.
Let's try this one.
We gotta go.
Hey guys, BDM Travis. I want to know if anybody else is as weird as I am when the intro and outro ads for ACT start playing. Does anybody immediately start singing Power of Love by Huey Lewis in the News?
What is he
it
talking
does
about?
sound a little bit like Power of Love. The music, when we do like the intro and outro for ACT. It's like the,
I have no idea.
I think it might be on the iHeart app. I don't even think it's through like our app or our feed.
Oh, okay, because I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
Because you know what? I just dawned on me right now. This is how bad we are our business. If like our ACT numbers are our numbers, but there's a whole second set of numbers that are iHearts
on their app.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Don't care. Bye.
Welcome back to Egg Talk with Tom and Dad. I'm Little Egg.
So okay. I've been trying to eat clean for lunch.
You've been eating salads. Chef salads.
Or unfortunate chicken or whatever. Like I just get pre-made chicken or rice meals from Publix. It's all, I hate it. There's no way to live.
Yeah. Today I had a bowl of chili. I was not happy with it. It was good, but it's not what I wanted. And it's also 100 degrees outside, so who eats chili?
And it's expensive, and I usually only end up eating half of it, and I punt the other half in the trash. I get mad.
That's your fault because you choose like a big to-do to eat. Why don't you just get a small turkey sandwich? Easy.
I don't want the bread.
Well, bring your own.
What are you, baby?
Meat
You can't have bread.
cheese.
You're supposed to have some carbs,
like
man.
a roll up. Make your own little meat and cheese roll up.
Yeah, that takes effort. It's so lazy. There's
Just do it
lots
when you
of
make your
reasons.
kids lunch at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. While you're making their bento boxes, you can make yourself a
Oh, we got rid of the bento box.
no more
Oh, they're
bento.
gone already?
Oh, give me those.
Well, then now we do straight garbage like
yeah,
animal crackers,
Cheetos.
What
Cheez-Its.
happened?
Double stuffed Oreos.
The crow stopped caring, so I won, and
You know, it sounds like that.
I waited her out. Now we just do Cheez-Its. I do hot dogs.
Cheez-Its and hot dogs. Oh, yeah.
Cheez-Its, hot dogs.
It's a Umatilla day.
SpongeBob cheese stick.
Yeah. SpongeBob cheese stick. It's not even the good one.
That's too much cheese.
Yeah,
fruit snacks. And,
Yeah, not fruit.
And chocolate chip
Yes.
Granola bars.
Yes. Yay.
Straight garbage.
Oh, man.
So
I have some chunguses in a little bit.
When Maisie goes to school, I
love 'em.
hand her a gargantuan from Jimmy John's and a 6-pack of Miller Lite. That's what I give Maisie. Well, 2 of them are gone, so she has the 2 loops to hang on her backpack.
So anyway, I was trying to do something different for lunch, and I'm like, what can I do where I don't even care because it's all I hate everything that I eat anyway.
There's got to be a better way. I know, stinky eggs.
So I just said, get me some hard-boiled eggs.
I suggested meatballs.
Yes.
That would have been better.
That would have been better, but in
There's
my
too
mind,
much there's too many calories in meatballs.
yeah. Plus, it's like
No,
red,
meatballs is fine. It's just too much sugar in the sauce.
the,
but-
re-
there's
the
also-
red meat.
No.
I feel like I got bad
You don't
They have
cholesterol.
chicken
Carb.
cutlets over there.
He don't want
citrus chicken.
carbs, so he don't want the breading. And there's tons of breadcrumbs and meatballs. He don't want that.
Yeah. I just want some regular hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
What
he
about
just want-
jerky?
Yes. What about too much sodium? Oh, I'm bloated, bro.
I do have a blood pressure problem, and I do
Okay.
I eat that, and I'm like, my eyeballs feel big.
These sockets are fitting a little tight today. It's hard to look to the left. That's gritty. It's gritty in there. I gotta lube this thing up.
And then you brought me home a pack or home.
We didn't bring you home. You don't live here. Get out of here. Get out.
I want to live at work. But you bring me a package of eggs, and then
Me and Butler, I wanted to
And you
buy you 2 6-packs because they had 2 6-packs.
I don't need that
connected.
many.
Well, you'd cut down the center, and then you'd have a pack for tomorrow. Because one egg is like what, 45 calories?
Well, I was thinking
60.
of 2 eggs, 3 at the most, and I'm good.
2 would have been fine.
Yeah, 2 is
That's why I was
fine.
trying to get you the 2-pack.
And
But
then,
aren't you gonna fart your balls off?
No, I have the iron stomach. Nothing bothers it.
You don't
That
get
is
the-
not true.
you don't get the
We've
toots?
smelt sweet beans before.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know
that's
the
if I-
ramifications of feeding you all eggs. That's like giving
Yeah, we
Kim
don't know
Jong-
what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like giving Kim Jong-un just scoops of uranium and go, get at it, boy. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't. But I don't openly fart like you do in front
I
of
don't
all
openly
our guests
fart.
and women.
I don't openly fart. I have IBS, and sometimes the power is so great that my sphincter cannot control the power.
Anyway, then you screamed, it's going to stink in here. I'm like, no.
It did stink in here.
Proper, fresh, hard-boiled eggs don't stink.
Those
Yeah.
are proper, fresh, hard-boiled
Like-
eggs.
Nah, those were packaged
Like
for a
They're
while.
fine. You guys also think the shrimp kill all the fish, and that's not true. You guys are QAnon.
Because I was eating hard-boiled eggs for a while after Easter because my sons had they dyed the eggs. So I was eating those. And when you open those, they don't even have a smell to them. Like
Right.
they smell like nothing, water. And
I don't believe you.
And anyway, I opened that 6-pack and it stunk. At first, it instantly stunk up everything around me. And then I thought that it was just maybe the gases trapped in the bag. But
It's
then
the bad gas.
But then I ate one bite of one egg and it stunk.
It took my breath away. Like, that's how it smelled like rotten eggs.
It was like
all eggs
Was it
smell
green
like that.
inside?
Oh, I hate
No.
it when they're like that. You know what that is? That's a little tiny bird toupee. That's a chicken toupee. That's the hair coming in,
dude,
man.
it was potent. And
I don't eat.
I couldn't.
That's why I don't eat eggs.
It made my eyes water that it
Yeah.
stunk so bad.
It was-
and then
yeah.
I had to
Y'all
punt
are-
them all in the trash.
You're eating little, small, boiled chicken babies.
No,
That's disgusting.
Fresh hard-boiled eggs don't stink like that.
Yeah,
that
they do.
was some rotten ass. And I looked at the date, and it is like June 6th. So the date was a while in the future, but someone stamped the wrong date. Something happened.
What was it? Maybe it's 2020.
I tell you, something was
Right.
wrong.
Maybe they've been up there that long.
I took a bite of one.
Did they taste pre-pandemic?
It
Did
tastes.
it taste as if that baby chicken would have worn a mask?
It tasted like a regular hard-boiled egg, but it smelled so bad like fart that it made my eyes water, and I had to throw the whole garbage can away.
The whole garbage can.
Yeah, but it's one of those Simply Modern ones. It's expensive. That's a $300 garbage can.
And then I was convinced that Butler got me the rotten ones.
I don't know about him anymore because you guys are doing prank wars. I always see him looking like over his shoulder because he's always. I'm always thinking I'm catching him wiring something that's like a trap for you or something.
Yeah, every time I come here, I inspect my desk now, thinking that because if I leave before him, I immediately think that he's messing around with my desk.
There's no way he's gonna stay here to do work.
So I know. I know. So then I get to my desk. I'm like, what did he do? And then I'm like, open my desk drawer.
There's eggs everywhere.
I'm like, what's in there? Like, so I'm suspicious of everything now. That's the way I live.
What a fun way to go.
Hey, welcome to my world.
I'm mad and suspicious, and I got rotten eggs. Anyway, let's do some.
Let's do emails.
Oh, email.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Greetings, Dan. BDM Mark checking in. I just got done working out with my trainer, and it seems that Tom and I go to the same establishment, only with different trainers.
Curves.
He looked very familiar, but I wasn't entirely sure that it was Tom until I saw the flip-flops that he had thrown aside in favor of working out barefoot.
I do approve that because that's how I think that's how cave people would have lifted stuff. So it's probably really good for your form and for your muscles.
Yeah, CrossFit athletes will say work out barefoot.
Yeah,
or in those
and it's
weird
better than those weird little
toe shoes,
half shoes. Yeah.
I was tempted to say it smells like an old rat, but I didn't want to mess with him while he was working out. You were right.
I would have laughed.
You were right, though. His lower legs looked downright unstable.
That's not nice.
If I had any doubt that it was Tom, as he was leaving, his trainer asked him if he brought money, to which Tom gave a very typical Van answer. Oh, I forgot. I'll bring it Tuesday.
Oh, it's a fog machine scenario.
I chuckled to myself.
Bring the money. I'm like, oh.
Wait a minute.
What was that?
He said, he just texted me and said, bring the money. I said, ha ha ho. What does that mean?
Well, I laughed about how I'm going to eventually
it's not funny to him. It's just
right, that's his money.
That's his family. Is how he supports himself.
I chuckled to myself and shook my head. This was indeed Thomas Chisholm Van. Yeah. Anyway, if I see him there next week, I'll say hi. You guys are the best.
I did because
are you going? We're open, maybe there, buddy, and making everybody uncomfortable.
No. I did see. It's rare that anybody else is in there working out. Like the whole gym is the size of like these two offices put together. It's not that big, so it's usually just me by myself and Michael, and there's no one ever
and
in
the
there.
masseuse.
And then, and so I know the gentleman that he,
Oh, you're gonna fight him now?
I'm just saying, I did look at him and size him up, and I am obviously stronger than he is. And I looked at the weights. I saw what he was pushing.
You saw what he was pushing,
and then he must have seen what I was pushing.
All right,
I'm way stronger. I'm just saying,
egg off or something.
Push off.
Just way stronger, bro. What are you gonna do?
You gonna fight him today?
No.
What is happening?
He's saying I got unstable legs. I got stronger legs.
But this guy, maybe the reason this guy has stronger legs is because he pays for his workout.
He only pays for the top half.
Yeah. Do you only pay for your boobs and your arms?
I give him the money.
You got
eventually.
good boobs and arms and a flat tummy.
I give him cash,
which is very sketchy.
But you have tiny, like almost like if somebody took a piece of yarn and then tied like a small marble to the end of it. Those are your feet. They're very.
I do have tiny.
They're tiny
bird legs,
but very stiff.
Stiff and tiny bird legs.
But you can lift a lot on the bench press, on the leg press. You can do a lot on the leg. You think you can do more than this chungus that we're telling you?
Yeah. I'm definitely stronger. I'm also stronger than Travis too. I just want to put that out there for sure. Stronger than Travis.
I hear him laughing.
All right. Next email.
Hi, Tom, Dan, Sam, and Travis. While I do listen to all the shows, I do not always listen in a timely manner, so not sure when this subject came up on the show, but you guys were discussing how people found the show. Obviously, many listeners are either familiar with you from radio, whether back in the day or from a corporate time now, but I thought how I discovered you guys was kind of unique, and y'all might get a laugh out of it. As a talk radio fan, I started listening to podcasts before it was cool and was trying to find some new favorites. I must have Googled award-winning podcast or podcast awards or something to that effect because I came across a podcast awards nominee list and A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan was listed in a bunch of different categories. If I remember correctly, I think this was a fan-submitted nomination thing, and y'all might have asked your listeners to vote, and they just voted you into every category. This was the podcast awards that was hosted by Chris Jericho and some porn star. And I remember you guys talking about what an S show the awards program was on one of the shows.
It was terrible.
I think this was around 2015.
Yeah.
Anyway, I figured since A Mediocre Time was listed more than any other on the list to give it a try, and I've been listening ever since and soon became a BDM. I have never heard you on the radio, never seen any of your advertising. Hell, I've never even been to Florida, but I found you in this totally random way, and you quickly became my favorite podcast. I love the show. I have a freakish amount in common with Tom and relate to so many of his stories. I love Dan's creativity. The songs are the best. Sam, I don't know how you do all you do, and Travis, you, quote, work there too. Just kidding. Because of y'all, I get all the looks from coworkers, and when I'm out of nowhere, burst out laughing uncontrollably from your banter and sharp wit. I listen every day and always will. BDM for life, Patricia.
Oh, cool.
Wow, it's a lady, too. That is solid.
Yeah.
What a great email. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia? I can't say her name.
Patricia. Me and Daniel talk about this all the time, and we make, and I'm the worst at this. I'll make absolute statements, and I think
you are the worst.
It is.
I'm glad you're finally coming to
I
this.
learned it from radio.
You're falling into his trap.
Oh, wait.
You can't make a definitive statement.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he just pulled you right into his web.
I feel like I've learned this from radio, from talk radio specifically, because like hosts and stuff, in an effort to be like polarizing or like to take a stance one way or the other, they'll make absolute statements, right? Like,
well, it gives people more of something to, if you disagree, it gives you something to sort of banter with, and if you agree, it gives you that confirmation bias you're so craving.
It's the old statement, if they love you or hate you, they're still listening. I don't know if that so much works in this current iteration of where, you know.
Wasn't that a 50 Cent song? Love my hate him.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
That's a good ass song.
But I think that was more of an old school mentality when there was less to listen to, right? It's like people used to listen to Rush Limbaugh and hate him, but they used to listen partly because it was the only political show maybe in their market, right? So it was the only thing they could listen to, and then I think that's really the only reason, because if they had a plethora of other options, I feel like they would eventually go to them, right?
Yeah.
It's just like they had no other. They wanted to listen to political talk, and Rush Limbaugh was on AM radio in their city.
Also, the way he presented things. I mean, even if you hated him, he was a good host. He presented things properly. He had a point of view. Maybe he had good inflection, spoke well, good vocabulary, knew how to push your buttons. There's a science to that.
So then, back to the definitive statement. So me and you have made the joke before, and I remember even sitting in the podcast awards talking about this will do nothing for us. Like this.
Oh, you got at least one BDM out of it.
Yeah, we got one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah. So
1% better.
I wonder how many Patricias there are out there that found us off that. Probably her, the only one.
I don't know.
Definitely her. Definitely the only one.
So I go back to saying, if there's only one, pretty darn close to what you were saying. You were right. Did nothing for us.
She's a BDM, so but she's a 195.
Is she?
She didn't state.
Yeah, look her up real quick and see if she. I'd like to start looking up all of her listeners and it's
shame
like
them
Bitcoin.
if
No,
they
it's like
only pay
Bitcoin. They're
$1.95.
different. Bitcoin, you're a 195er. You're like a Doge. But if you're a 1095er,
you're Ethereum.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
All right, next email.
I love to eat myself to mild hallucinations with edibles. I always do it on nights where we don't have our little one, and me and the wife are going somewhere, and I'll eat 500 milligrams or so.
Whoa,
oh my God.
Settle down.
I don't see trails like a regular trip, but more like geometric-like combinations of things.
Yeah, it's because your eyes are barely open, and it's just your eyelashes making the light.
Walls and shapes will form straight lines, or brick walls, for example, will form shapes out of the brick lines. It's great. The wife babysits me the first half of the night, then she ggets wine hammered, and I babysit her the drive home once the candy wears off. That's a loving relationship.
Once the candy wears off. I have never been
500 milligrams.
I've never taken anywhere close to like 100 milligrams or something like that.
That would last all day.
Yeah, it doesn't just wear off on me like where I'm just like, that was fun. All right, sober, driving home.
I mean, you talk about taking 50s all the time. Like that don't.
I don't. I've eased up on that.
I took a 50 one time at night, and I had a freak out, and then the next morning I was high until like 10 a.m. the next morning. Like it's a lot. 50, like I guess if your tolerance is just ridiculous, maybe it's just not the same.
Well, I mean,
it's still in your system though.
Yeah, but you could be a big fat chunkus. Like most of my friends that are bigger than me, and most people are just because I'm not very tall. They a lot of more booze and a lot more, marijuana.
Who's got these partners that don't mind if they're completely effed up
Well,
out
it's
of
a
their mind?
trade-off, right? So he can be high to the point of hallucinations the first half, and then she gets hammered drunk the second half.
What Tom's referencing is that they discuss their recklessness, and there is an agreed upon relationship of we're each sharing that. Like you guys, like I don't do that. I don't sit down with Andrew and be like, all right, Saturday night tonight, I'm blowing my shoes off. You still good for watching me? You know what I mean? Like that's weird.
Also, Crystal doesn't like when I start drinking before her. Like I said, we're both going to drink that night. She wants to have the same, like the drinks together instead of me going to it already drunk, like pre-drink.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then she's
That's codependent drinking.
That is codependent
well,
drinking.
then she's like, "Well, you're drunker. You're not on the same
Catch
level."
up.
Yeah.
But say about the curse.
No, she's mad at it. She's like, "Why you're so wasted already? Like, you were gonna come with me.
Snooze, you lose, Crystal.
Do this journey."
Start chugging, girl.
Yeah, you got to tell her to start early.
I don't know if you know the legend of the crow, but
The legend of the crow.
Screaming you
Every
snooze,
time
you
say
lose to
this,
it.
it
It doesn't work.
On the old Danny Denny hard drive, there is a concept of a Game of Thrones, the three-eyed raven?
Yeah.
I have a whole concept ready to go. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
Yeah, screaming, you snooze, you lose, catch
gotta
up,
get your eyes
bitch.
back down.
I did not say that.
Doesn't fly.
What else you got?
Okay, so this is another raccoon yard defense email.
God.
We have various outdoor pet birds, chickens, ducks, geese. We live in Daytona, like the city suburbs, but my yard is a goddamn farm. My wife is a crazy person. Anyway, the local raccoons like to break into our chicken coop and eat our birds. Wow, raccoons eat birds?
Yeah. And they're smart, too.
The wife is an animal lover, so I can't hurt the raccoons, and too cheap to pay a trapper. I found this product by Orbit that's like an automated defense turret. It's basically...
Orbit, they're the people that make the gum where the hot lady tells you to eat it, right?
They make gum and sprinklers.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's basically a motion-activated sprinkler on a stick. Raccoon walks in front of it, gets jetted in the face with water, and is scared off. It's motion-activated, runs on a 9-volt battery, and can connect to a normal yard hose or PVC pipe if you want to get fancy. It has day and night sensors, so you can set it to be only active at night.
I'd hardwire it in. I'd get a plumber to. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You
Instead
just
of running
turn the faucet off during the day. The sensor covers a wide area. I think it's 180 degrees, and the spray can do up to 360 or be focused into just a small cone.
That's what you need. You're helping your plants too.
Also, you can link several of them together, so when one goes off, they all turn on.
And then you're running your whole yard. You got a whole turrets just blasting them crazy. That's a good idea. And then the boys would like to play in it.
I did get this email.
$70 on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
The problem is I would have to get so many of them because I feel like I'm not exactly sure. I need some night vision video cameras to start seeing where they're coming over the fence.
I already have some of those installed in your bedroom. Just move them. Just point them out the windows instead of pointing them at your toilet.
Because I thought they were coming over the fence in like where my fence butts up with like all four neighbors. Like
they're not
at the crossroads.
They're not. I'm pulling up a truck and letting them out.
Because they're going over to get the cat food. So I was spraying the peppermint there. But it didn't seem to work. They do everywhere. I stepped in it.
Where's that idiot that sprays our food down with a yummy peppermint spray?
They're also they started digging up my normal plants now, like regular plants that
they're mad at you.
And all my bulbs they ate.
Ate your bulbs.
I'm so mad at.
I want my wife to eat my bulbs, but she says they only do that in videos.
I talked to Joe Byrne, and
he's gonna help you out, right?
He said he'll put bullets in all their skulls. That's what I heard. He does not mess around.
That's
with
fine
pests.
with me.
No,
That's perfectly fine.
He burns the pest. He does not mess around.
The pest, not the.
No, well, he offered to take video of releasing them into the woods.
Yes.
Which, by the way, you can't just release them into normal woods. They have to be like some government.
You release them
woods.
into wood on
like a
fire.
state park?
No. You can't go to. You have to go to a place for releasing animals
Raccoons,
like this.
yeah.
Raccoons.
It's like a recycle bin for animals.
You can get fined, I guess, if you just release them into any woods.
Well, how are they
going to
know? Was the raccoon going to tell it? It was the guy with a muffle lot of hair. Like, how does he? There was a guy with a beard. Like, how's he going to know?
Well, I guess if you send me the video exists out there, then somehow it gets leaked.
Well, why are you leaving a paper trail? Bullets in the head for everyone is what I say.
Well, he has to videotape so I can prove to my wife.
No, you get people that have raccoons. You do the video, tuck that away, and then you kill everything. Release the video.
Oh, yeah.
Not the same coons. Who cares?
She knows, and also she didn't even want to do that. And I'm gonna have Joe Byrne on.
So you're just supposed to live in like.
Daniel.
You're supposed to, yeah.
Full name.
I'm supposed to live in Missouri.
Well, that's
like,
what I'm supposed to step away. I'm going to push my chair back a little bit because if he calls me my
Yeah.
full name, I get a punch in the face.
Yeah. Look, I've brought this up. Am I supposed to live in misery?
Quality of life. Quality of life.
Why they rip
what
my
about your
plants up?
garden? The garden is for you, not for the raccoons.
Well,
you were there first.
Technically, they might have been there first.
No, generationally, they may be generationally, but this group has been...
hold on. I've been at this house for 11 years.
Yeah.
These raccoons,
They're
look
young raccoons.
How long do wild raccoons live? What's their lifespan?
Well,
Because
these are absolutely young. I know they're young because they were listening to mumble rap.
Her argument would probably be the generations before them were in the Cassowary Woods. You know what I'm saying?
In the wild, a raccoon has a life expectancy of 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, these are new.
But in captivity, they can live up to 20.
Yeah, these things are hard-ass Cassowary raccoons. They live for 6 months. They're getting poisoned and killed.
What you got to do is you got to do what China did, and you got to release some. You got to get on it, dude. You gotta,
release the seeds?
What
am I supposed to do?
You got to have an accident. You got to have an accident at the lab.
I thought about doing the poison.
You got to. No. It's got to be. It can't be poison. Yeah, you're thinking too hard. It's got to be something that just gets in them and confuses them and makes them
poison.
Yeah. No. You just like a disease.
Oh,
like a Wuhan.
Oh, yeah. I gotta find someone.
And then they'll be so bewildered by that, and they'll be having to handle it.
They get this disease. We found one wandering around the daylight, and it got this crazy
rabies.
No, it's the dysmorphia or something like that.
It can't get skinny enough.
That they had some sort of raccoon zombie disorder. Like there's a zombie raccoon disease that makes them crazy, and they come out during the daylight, and they're
you're still not supposed to kill that one.
No, they kill them good because
you got to kill that one. Yeah. But the zombie one, WWE Batista.
I thought they'd all get because when I saw that one, I'm like, great, they're all gonna die, but they came back. They got it.
Well, they all started wearing their masks, 6 feet, the whole nine. They didn't get
healthy.
Yeah, they didn't get it.
Believe me, Byrne called us and then was scheduling the traps, and then my wife canceled the order.
What?
She canceled the traps. She said no traps, and then she explained to me why.
It's a trap. It's not a kill trap. It's a trap.
Right.
No, but that does
relocation trap.
Okay, I'm telling you.
No, don't make it worse. Don't make it worse.
It's insane.
Don't make it worse.
This is totally
insane. Totally, dude.
She didn't want to trap them because then we would relocate them away from their families. I'm not.
Where are we? We're so far away from the Buffalo Wild Wings, we'll never make it back. This will be a grand adventure. It's the Odyssey, Castleberry Raccoon Edition.
She did not want to relocate them in case they were a family unit, like a family unit. I'm not joking. And then when I brought up how ridiculous that was, then her sister and mom agreed with her.
Oh, you're outnumbered.
Outnumbered.
Well, you're not going to win.
Well, they're their own pack. That's why they all live in the same street.
Yeah. They said they're communal animals, and you're gonna take them away from their family.
But what?
Just take the whole family out of there.
But you never.
They're
go to
like,
the
how would you know?
What's the next
How do
argument?
they know that they're even a family?
The next argument is, but okay, so we took them away, and they're not part of their family. What? How does that impact our life?
Well, it could be a rival gang.
This is about
raccoon.
you. This isn't about them. You're not calling the trappers for them.
She don't
You're
care about me. She don't care about me or my damn plants.
There it is.
She cares about relocating a raccoon
Well,
dad
it's her
away
house.
from the raccoon
But
sons.
also, it's her house, right? And her plants too, and like
No,
the
she
doo-doo
hates them
the
because
poop
I love
all
them.
over the yard. And
She did. It's a doo-doo in the yard, and then I bring up, I'm like, Tommy's stepping in this doo-doo,
Yeah.
and this goddamn rabies doo-doo.
Yeah.
So, and
you
her
need
love,
to see work on that angle.
See, her love for her sons, like I almost breach it, but then her mom and sister, bring her back in
Oh my
to the
God.
animal.
I have a genius idea. Do we know anybody with a raccoon? Because they're very common, like
Pets in Florida.
redneck parents. Redneck parents.
My
Dude.
parents had a friend with a raccoon pet.
All we need is a friend with a raccoon pet. Who's the better actor of the two boys?
Tommy.
Okay. Tommy walks out. I go, and I'm watching from the bushes. Cue raccoon. Trained raccoon runs out, jumps on Tommy. You leap, grab the domesticated pet raccoon. I'm filming this.
Okay.
You save
I
your
fight
son.
it,
You
yeah.
show her the footage. Now you have to kill them. They're murder machines.
Okay, all right. You don't understand the
No, I don't.
insanity,
I know.
love for animals that my wife and my wife's
It's a good
family
thing.
have.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. She loves animals.
They love animals more than they love themselves. And if this raccoon doo-dooing is tearing up our still you're like, I don't want to take it away from his family.
Right.
And then I scream insanity.
I know.
This is insanity, and I go and I hang out with my plants. These are my only
That are
friends.
being murdered by the raccoons.
I know, my only friends.
It is
Raccoons
really
are-
sad that he walks out and they're all destroyed or his bulbs are already in. You're like, oh, hey guys, I'm real sorry. I'm trying, but just getting by it. Oh God!
If I knew how to use
Do you have 'em?
computers,
Do you name
computers
'em?
would be my friends.
Do you
but-
name them, or you're like, oh, little Jerry,
No,
your
no,
bulbs
I
are
don't-
torn to pieces. I loved you.
No. They ate them. They stole the bulbs and ate them. First, they just dug them up and put them on the side to mock me. And then when I reburied them, then the next thing they just dug them up and ate them. They just stole them. Oh, I red hot. I was mad. I was like, if I could push a button and kill every raccoon in the world, I'd do it.
Isn't that a Cameron Diaz movie?
With
It is.
no remorse whatsoever. I do not care. I killed the raccoons in front of their families while the baby raccoons are crying.
Oh my God.
That's how mad I was. But then later on I soften up and I'm like, all right.
Soften up my White Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, later on I'm
He's
like,
looking
oh,
at his sons. He's like,
yeah, they're just
okay.
trying to survive.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I get it.
the
I don't know.
damn
It does seem like
sprinklers.
they're torturing you now.
Because my wife's like, get the sprinklers, get the peppermint spray, but that it doesn't work.
No.
They need to be dead. That's the only
The
way.
only way to stop them is to kill them. Yeah.
Or relocate them far away. But again, I don't know how to. I got it. Maybe if I can catch them and then put like a bow tie on the dad, like some sort of wig on the mom.
I got another one.
And then like a Bart Simpson style.
What if we had
Haircut on
Butler
Yeah.
dress like the Pied Piper and carry one of my flutes over and try to flout them out of your
way, yeah.
and I'll video that.
See, we'd have to get
That'd
the
be good
whole
for TikTok at least.
raccoon herd at once.
How many do you honestly believe there are there?
Dude, one time I looked up at my and I used my remember I had a cell phone light and in my neighbor's yard in the middle of night there was I'm not even S-ing you there was like 35 raccoons.
No.
No, I'm not joking.
35
That's too
in one
many.
yard.
That's scary.
Dude, when we poured that concrete like the where I put my boat and the concrete was still like brand new, there was hundreds of raccoon tracks across, like so many that it almost took up like it was a trail of tears. Like, it was an interstate highway of raccoons.
That's crazy.
There was, I mean, dozens of raccoons was coming back and forth.
Step one is, you know what we should do? Because this would be good for our show, too, since we're doing so much video content. Let's just buy you an inexpensive motion-powered...
the night vision hunting, like motion-detected hunting thing.
We'll get some, at least we'll get some comedy out of this and see what we're up against.
Yeah.
If we can't kill them, at least let's.
Butler, order one of those night vision hunting cameras.
Yeah, get one of the ones that's motion activated. We'll set that thing up and we'll see what we're up against here, man. Because maybe the sprinklers, like maybe if you just kind of see the main areas that they go to.
Yeah.
Like maybe you can pinpoint. The sprinkler idea, I think, is pretty good if you can pinpoint the areas they're going to be at. And the idea of it going 360 might deter them from going to other areas that it doesn't hit.
See, because what Joe Byrne told me.
Tactical Hats has one he'll let you borrow.
All right. I set up the fog machine.
And so the motion starts fogging the raccoons.
I don't think they care. They eat garbage and they're hard animals. That's what I told my wife. I was like, "Do you think this raccoon cares that it's never going to see his brother again?"
Does she know that?
Like, it eats garbage. It's a hard ass wild animal.
They'll eat each
like
other.
That, yeah.
Does she know that?
It will eat its dad if his dad just fell ill for one day. Like it doesn't care.
Yeah.
They are hard ass animals. But the problem is,
I would eat my dad if he looked like Jason Momoa.
Animal lovers put their own emotion into these animals, and they're like, it thinks like me. It has love, and it's as sensitive as I'm like, this thing is hard. It lives a short and a horrible life. It eats garbage.
Yeah.
It lives in the woods. It'll be killed by a car or by garbage
or disease.
It'll turn this thing is a hard ass animal. It doesn't care about nothing. You could leave it in the desert. It'll wander itself out of there. Like it's not gonna miss its friends.
I saw a video on TikTok yesterday of a raccoon that was tearing through a family's home. And then it finally ran into the guest bathroom, and it jumped up on the top of the vanity mirror where the lights are, where you're fixing your makeup in the off the kitchen bathroom.
Yeah.
And it was standing over, and the kids were screaming murder, and it was one of the most terrifying videos. No, it really was scary because this
probably
thing,
had that disease.
Well, no, it went full length. Because it was stretched out over the mirror, and it was a very large it was a huge raccoon, and I'm like, damn. God. And when I looked at that thing, I was like, well, I think if I was gonna get it, try and get it out of the bathroom, that thing's gonna hurt. Come at me, bro.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
it looked like it was gonna go on those kids, and then the dad was pushing the kids out of the way. I don't know if anybody saw that.
It'll bite scratch you. Although I never hear about raccoon attacks very often.
Let me see if I can find that video.
When they get that disease, they turn crazy. When they get rabies, they get nutty and they may attack. But with how many raccoons there are and how they're always attracted to campsites and trash and stuff, very little raccoon attack stories, really, right? You don't hear
I literally just Googled raccoon attacks, and there's thousands of videos. So
you would think there would be more than that, just of how many now the actual attacks, or is it the
these look bad.
No, okay.
Oh, there's too many. I just typed in raccoon attack TikTok, and it's a whole. No, I can't even. It's like a 6-hour compilation film.
Well, I want to see what the.
All right, let's see here.
Are they charging you? Are you surprising them in your garbage?
Or is this raccoon that charged some police officers?
Well, they emptied their service revolver at it?
Let's see if I can get this one to load. TikTok's a little weird. He's fat.
All right. So, yeah, this looks like...
Oh, he's a pet raccoon.
Oh, yeah. That's.
But they're very. Actually, after seeing this video, I don't want you to kill him either. That's cute.
Well, that's a pet raccoon.
Yeah, he's awesome. Look at his sweet little
How many
snoot.
wild raccoon attacks are there?
This one's too fat. He's like a big chungus raccoon.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that Florida thing. You have a raccoon as a pet. I want to see an actual raccoon attack someone and keep it. You've seen that otter attack, right? When they get rabies,
they go nuts.
They'll actually run after you.
Pissed off.
Yeah.
Is that what happens? What happens when you get rabies?
You go crazy.
If I got rabies right now, and let's say I got bit by a dog, and didn't say anything about it, Walking Dead style, I just kept a bandage on it, and you guys all didn't trust me for a while?
I think you go and you start fearing water. That's one thing where you're scared of water.
That's nuts.
Which is a weird thing that...
just dripping water, right?
You stop drinking, you turn insane.
It includes states of anxiety and confusion, partial paralysis, agitation, hallucinations, and in its final phases, a symptom called hydrophobia, or a fear of water.
And then you die, right?
Yeah,
of what?
You can.
A heart attack or
it
something?
attacks your
brain?
nervous system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You probably like go paralyzed or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, that is terrible.
I think once you get to the water phase, I don't even think they could treat you.
Too far gone.
Yeah. I think there is some
Oh my
point of
God.
like that you're as good as dead.
Those are the ones I hate in like video games or movies when you get the disease and they're like, I'm sorry, we could have treated this if you got here earlier.
Right.
But you're in the 5th stage, which means there's nothing we can do.
That's
You'll
the
start
Dustin
changing
Diamond.
soon.
Yeah, but I think the rabies, like you have it before you get to the water stage, like unless you're some far away from medical help or something. Like,
Right.
There would be no reason.
How quickly does this happen?
It's like a long time, I think. Like you can when you first get bit to the time you die, I think is a while. Like
now,
a month or more.
Is it true? Okay, let's say a raccoon with rabies bit my right arm, this arm. Could we, Walking Dead me, I get bit by the raccoon. We don't know if it's got rabies or not. We don't want to take the chance you guys chop my arm off.
You just give you the rabies shot.
No. I'm saying we're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, okay.
This is a dystopian society end of the world scenario.
I don't know.
You guys are my crew. We're all ride or die together. We set up the mobile radio station to try to find others of our kind.
Is it like snake venom, where if like a little bit of rattlesnake venom gets in your system, that's fine, but a lot will kill you? It's like if a little bit of rabies gets past the chop.
How fast does it take to get past the chop?
Well, you're fast. I think it. What does it take? Minutes or less for your blood to circulate completely through your body from your heart to heart.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that.
That's a great show.
I haven't taken biology since high school. I don't know.
Apparently, I think Juan's wife got bit by a rabid cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had to go through all of this.
You get. I don't think they give you the stomach shot anymore, right? As a regular shot.
We looked into this recently.
Yeah.
I think they still do both.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. You got another email over there? We might as well close this out.
Yep.
Sorry, Sam.
No.
We went long, but it's okay. We need to go long.
Okay.
Ooh, Juan says they injected at the site of the wound. Interesting.
Ew. Hey guys, I heard you talking about being hypnotized on ACT. I have been to one of those hypnotist comedy shows and was an audience member who volunteered to be hypnotized. I know Tom was wanting to talk to someone who really said they were hypnotized. I would not say that, but I feel like there was something to the breathing they had me do that did calm me down and possibly lower my inhibitions. I was also pretty drunk, so that was most likely what was going on. I could call in if you guys are still interested in talking about it. I did some crazy stuff on stage, and after the show, the hypnotist gave me free tickets to the rest of his shows that weekend. Let me know if you're interested and hear about my experience.
Free hypnotist tickets. That's worth it.
I
got
you already saw the show. Why would I want more free tickets?
I got on stage, I peed my pants, and I got these free tickets.
Oh, he's like, you'll do what I say.
Yes,
come
yeah.
back.
He found one. He's like, yeah, this guy will do anything. Like, so. But I want to know. He didn't mention like he didn't do this. He did this on his own cognition.
He
right?
volunteered.
Yeah,
yes.
like, and he was doing everything he was being told. He wasn't like uncontrollably doing.
I mean,
everything.
isn't this Ouija board?
Yes, yeah. Although Ouija board, I feel like there could be a group of people where each one of them could swear and probably win a lie detector test or pass it by saying I wasn't moving it, but because subconsciously they all were kind of moving it together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think that's how the Ouija board and how it's become so popular. It's like
it's amazing that has hung around the old stinky Ouija board.
I think it's because it plays into human psychology, and if four people are touching something,
the weight of your fingers probably,
or they all are kind of moving it to where they want to, and they each can claim like I wasn't moving it right? Because
you must have been moving it.
Yeah. I think that's why hypnotists work, or at least it's
still
still a show.
We had an interview set up, and
yeah.
that fell apart.
Yeah. We were gonna get a hypnotist on to explain this whole thing, but he's not the nicest person.
Well, he was like he wasn't.
There's some scheduling conflicts, and it's fine.
You got one more?
Yeah.
One last one. Sorry, we're burning emails. We needed to catch up on emails.
Hey guys, just wanted to say thank you for introducing me to Bernie at KDK. I was in a little bit of a tax pickle, and he has really helped me out and has been great working with him. I really, really can't thank you enough. I was so intimidated and apprehensive about the whole thing until the first time I spoke to him. He put my mind at ease instantly and has been a pleasure to work with. I'm looking forward to working with him until I turn very old and eventually die.
I like
that's
how
nice.
someone refers to the fact that they didn't pay their taxes into I got a little bit of pickle.
Why do people say in a pickle?
He was like,
Like, where does that come from?
What happened? Did you forget to sign something, or like, no? I just ignored it and didn't pay.
I'm
Like,
in a bit of a
all right.
pickle. I double booked. It's like something like that.
Yeah. Like it just you
Not
didn't pay. It.
I'm frauding, defrauding the government of taxes owed.
You knew you had to pay taxes and you didn't pay.
I'm
them,
in a
right?
tax pickle.
That's what the pickle is, right? You had to pay taxes and you decided on your own volition to not pay them, right? That's the problem.
I'm in a tax pickle, and my accountant says I better pay these taxes I didn't pay. Hi, it's R.C. Hill. I love those commercials.
But Bernie, well, if that happened, of course, the people get scared because, like, you stop paying taxes 1 year, guess what? It's going to be a lot of years because you got away with it that one time, and the next year rolls around, you're like, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, like if I got to a point where I don't know how this would impact my family, so it's a pretty selfish decision, but I feel like if I found out today, if my cell phone rang and I answered it, and it's like my doctor saying, "Oh, you got cancer, you'll be dead soon, you got the dust and diamond," I would just not pay taxes, not care, not tidy up any of my finances. Nothing.
If you had a trust, that's fine, but if you don't, then you have to put
I don't trust anybody, Tom.
The IRS will stake claim on your estate and take their money once you die. So you can't get away from them. But like I said, put it in a trust, call Mo, and then they can't. They'll go after your assets unless those are in the trust, then you're good. Tom Van's trust. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, that is how it works. I think that's about it. Anything to plug?
Let's see. You can go to tomanddanwateringholes.com. You could also go to our website where the Tom and Dan watering holes are at. And each one of them has magnuts. They have our special branded party patch, all for free. Just ask your bartender at these local establishments.
Just let them know.
I know at Johnny's it's in the other side bar. So it's the outdoor bar, but I talked to Andy the other day, and he's got them there. So if you go to Johnny's or Weston, Celery City, Brew's got them, I believe. Yeah, Brew's got them. Bug Nutty and Cocoa Beach.
Oh, wow.
You'll see
all over the place.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And just ask anybody at the establishment for a Magnut or a Party Patch.
Indeed. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.